All right, thanks so much, guys. We are into the close for a Friday afternoon. Welcome into the close. It is the last 2 hours of trading for the week. It is the last 2 hours of trading for the day. And a bit of a mixed session setting up here as we head towards the weekend. The NASDAQ still in positive territory, 0.6% only. That is the only positive thing we can talk about right now. The Dow, 0.8% to the downside. The S&P back in the red as well. It did briefly get back into positive territory there. 0.4% here in Toronto for the TSX to the downside. Brazil flat today. Energy markets 3.5%. What a week it's been for oil specifically to the downside. Yeah, big bump for Ethereum today and Bitcoin as well back into the green. Let's shift over to this page and show you the energy sector. 3.5% for oil. That has the entire group here in negative territory in a big way. Apache leading 6.8% lower. FANG 5.5%. There's Devon Energy about 6% to the downside. There is positivity coming from up here. Tech stocks are in positive territory. Intuit reported better than expected numbers. Aftermarket yesterday 9.5%. Adobe to the upside today. There's Micron and Enphase. AMAT earnings not good. Nvidia still riding the high from their report. PayPal, yeah, what is going on with this PayPal? What is this thing even trading at? 194.60 right now. We'll get into PayPal here coming up. Moderna getting the 18 plus approval from the FDA for emergency use for the booster shot for vaccine. So Moderna having a nice day. HOLX, we'll look into that, 3.5%. But overall, pretty red right across the board. Communication services jumping off the page there as well. Here comes the NASDAQ for you. Workday. Wow, yeah, 4% to the downside. There's Intuit. We mentioned off of earnings. Adobe, Micron, Nvidia once again in positive territory. JD.com, some positive news coming out of China overnight for them. So 2 days in a row back to the upside for JD. Facebook, they're having a bit of a struggle today. 2% almost. EA Sports as well, 3%. Let's get into a Friday afternoon here. We'll kick things off as we do with a bit of a review session. We'll look at some of the opportunities that we talked about. If you joined us at 8:30 this morning for the pre-market, make sure you do that every day. We walk you through what is moving and why and look at some trade possibilities. We are going to kick things off as we typically do here in the afternoon with a look at one specific trade. Sean's going to talk about something he was looking at this morning.
Hey guys, today's trade of the day, PayPal. Thank you for watching. And always we do trade of the days where we're winning and it's like, oh, look at that breakout. We took a profit on that. Look at this level, blah, 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 things like that. But today I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to show you getting out of the way of PayPal. We tried the long, it failed. PayPal's been nasty for a little bit. I've been recommending buys on this thing at $200. Today it's pie in our faces. We're down another 3%. This is PayPal cruising, right? First of all, I mean, I can zoom this back. This is going to be a 20-minute chart. PayPal's been in trouble since about 260, 270 when they came out and there was talk about them possibly buying Pinterest. The market right away hated that move, right? All the way to the downside with, of course, with Apple's new software coming out and sort of limiting what social media shares and so on and so forth, the data collection. People didn't like that deal, so they were already struggling. Then all of a sudden earnings comes out. They're just starting to get back going and then boom, comes down and crash city happens one more time for PayPal. But the thing to identify here is before we look at this chart is 200. So we can go all the way back here to the 8th and 9th when we had this first fall, and 200 basically was holding the whole time. That's the line here. That's the blue line is this 200 level. And we held. Not only did we hold, but we bounced nicely back to 218. I mean, there was a lot of opportunities here to get out of any of the longs that were here. I didn't get out myself. I've been buying more down at these levels. Why? Because I think we can get at least back to this 230. I'm even thinking 250. The thing is here, today, we have another opportunity to defend this 200. We open up the day today, nice. 203, 204. So we're like, all right, maybe we're going to get this bump back up here, 208, 210, something like that. This is going to be hard to see, but yesterday when it broke 200, maybe you can zoom in on the full screen here, guys. Yeah, thank you. You see that little mark down there yesterday on the 17th where we did break below that 200 level? That gave me a stop of about 199. It stopped at about 199-ish there on that move. So today's level, this is what we did. We take our first piece about $200 and 30 cents, 40 cents, something like that. And it instantly, yeah, we're way in the money. Not way in the money, but goes back up to about 201. So giving us about 60, 70 cents in the money here. But the main problem with this trade is it didn't last long. It didn't give us an out. We were waiting to get out back near the open, 203, something like that. If we could take that high trade, that'd be great. Even a 201, 201.50 would be fine, right? We're long, we'll take the dollar. But unfortunately, it starts to come down. And this is where it gets interesting because my stop is actually not until we break 198.50. So we take another shot right here at 199.50, thinking it's going to hold that 199. We spread it out because you know what? On PayPal, a $200 stock, I'm not going to get out like when it breaks 199 if I'm trying to go long at 200. I'm also not going to get out based on this tick down here yesterday to 199 even. So we're waiting for 198.50 to hit. Unfortunately, this all happens basically in 1 minute. This is a 1 minute chart. So this hits a little bit of relief back downside, but then the very next minute, boom, we're taken out of our position there at 198.50. About a buck and change of a hit. Not a good trade. This is actually one of the negative names for me today. It does bounce back up. We probably could have got out for about flat there, but whatever. It hits volume weighted average price. And now look, the NASDAQ goes down to the downside and we are now out of this trade. So the thing about it is, look, we learned our lesson. The important thing for me is we didn't go back in. We didn't keep fighting these bottoms because you know what? If I fight this bottom there, that's another loser right there for me, right? So I'm going to stay away from PayPal until we finally base out. We thought we had a base down here at 200, but you can see today, NASDAQ giving back a little bit. We're about to, I don't know if we're going to turn red soon, but it's very, very close, of course. Today we had Apple coming off 160, a little bit of downward movement, all the momentum in Nvidia right now, and in AMD, all the chip makers. Right now, it looks like FinTech, rough ride. We've seen PaySafe, Square. Now they're going down. We've seen Upstart. It hasn't been a great month and a half for these names. So I don't know where we'll pick PayPal up. We got to dive a little bit deeper. But it's your trade of the day, and it's a negative one. And the lessons learned, look, when you don't have a read and it breaks some of these levels, get away or go short. I did get away. I didn't go short. Lesson learned. Next time we short these pops.
Yeah, pretty heavy selling continuing in PayPal. We'll continue that discussion coming up here. Guys, if you joined us this morning, there's so many things to talk about. Apple, one of those. Nvidia continuing its run, post-earnings run as well, kind of dragging along some of the other chip makers with it. That is the link if you are looking for it for the watch list. We do your homework for you every single morning. We put it in a nice, neat package, and then we give it to you for absolutely free. You can use the QR code there as well. Miss V will help you out in the chat if you are looking for that link, guys. Let's. I'm just keeping my eye on Rivian here because, yeah, this is the headline that came out here this afternoon. Amazon testing some of their trucks, apparently raising some questions about battery power doubts and some of the previously announced statistics when it comes to those trucks. So big move down for Rivian, although we are trying to take back some support levels as we speak here. So we'll have a look at Rivian. Digital Ally popped up here going back about a half an hour or so ago. DGLY moving around as well. But let's start with Apple, why don't we? Because it was all about Apple. If you joined us this time yesterday afternoon when they came out and said these Apple cars could be on the road by 2025. Day Trade the World marketing guy, Justin Kochek, came by this morning, if you joined us around 10:45, and gave us some more information on this. Just a little bit of the backstory and some of the context behind, you know, where this all started, where it's come from, where it could go potentially for Apple. But Sean, as you were saying, you know, a bit of downward pressure here, not only for the entire NASDAQ, but it seems like Apple coming off of all-time highs yesterday.
Going back up though.
Yeah, you want to take this Arun quickly?
Yeah. So it was down below 160, but now it's back up towards all-time highs again. It's bounced quite well here. So this is where we were talking about it down below 160. Now it's pretty much a few cents away from hitting that high again. So quite the bounce off of not just the NASDAQ, but like the Apple stock in general, or specifically Apple. It's quite strong, resilient, absorbing any hits the market's willing to give it, and maintain that march towards 161. So here is Apple going straight up. As you can see, compare that chart, this one right here, Apple, that little blip down, to The S&P 500 index, here you go, from 47.15 all the way down to 46.92, and now here we are just back above 4,700. So one of the things is I do have a short on in the futures. I've had it all morning essentially. It's not on the screen though, but we talked about this earlier, and I'll just kind of get started with the futures going into the end of the day here. We started with a shot down to 46.90, and then we planned the average around 4,700. We're sitting at 46.94, and obviously went 20 points against, went 4 points in favor, but the trade isn't in this range. The trade is meant to go towards the bottom end of the range from yesterday, so I'm looking at maybe the mid-70s as a target. So for now, regardless of what happens with this, we are going to stick with it. If we run out of time, we run out of time, but the range that I'm looking for is into the mid-70s. We'll see if we get it. If Apple can actually slow down, we might be able to get a chance to take a shot at it, but it does look like that resilience is going to maintain the strength in the index. I am short, however. And another trade, which Sean was talking about trades that don't always work out, that you get out of. Well, I'm talking about one that I should not have gotten out of. GME, I had a long at 218, and I held it for a bit there, and then I'm like, you know what? I don't like the 220. I'm going to get out just underneath 219. Yeah, it's at 226. That's quite the mover on GME, on fire, up almost 8% on the day, and it's actually accelerating. As I talk, it just went from 224 to 226.50, so it is picking up some steam here to the upside on GME. Another trade I was looking at, and file this for another day because the trade for this has closed, the window for entry for today has closed on this one. Zoom below 255. That was a shot. I never got the fill after it kind of broke the levels and I put the offer out. Never got the fill there, but it is something I'm going to keep an eye on because I do like the way the chart is setting up. It's like not even a multi-day break, but it's a multi-bounce move down below 255. So I want to keep an eye on that as we move forward, especially starting the week next week.
Did I just see Proud walk by with Super Chicken again? I mean, this guy is killing the Super Chicken game right there. You described a Super Chicken, for those of you that were on the Memes and Movers show. It's like a schnitzel. It's like a crushed down. We were in there and I talked to the guy. It's Chinese style breaded chicken breast. That's actually, I don't think it's a breast. I think it's dark meat, like a thigh, beat down and then breaded, fried, and thrown in a bun. So that is Super Chicken, and it's #1 customer there, Prad, hitting that up. And on the Memes and Movers show, you're talking about Apple. You started with Apple there, Brendan. And I mean, I said to Prad, and we were watching it, right, as the NASDAQ was falling down here. I mean, look at the time, 11:37. Even let's just take it from here, 12 o'clock. You see the NASDAQ make this big move down to about 12:40. So from 12 o'clock. And then if you looked at Apple, which was right here, this is 12 o'clock for Apple. It didn't, I mean, it made the move down, but the move wasn't significant at all. And I mean, a lot of these other names started to fall, and I was just told Pratt, I was like, you know, you got to watch out for your short, because if you break this 160, it's probably game over. And it did. He got stopped out, I think, but it was a fine trade. It's just he take it out on that 160 break, which was good because it goes up to 160.50. Of course, falls back down to 159.80, and that's given us a clear buy signal now for Apple. I mean, it's clear sailings on this name. And again, we are doing today. Let me find it for you. We're doing a promo giveaway. So at 3:30 today on the show, Miss V will be at the big screen, and we're going to do a giveaway. All you have to do is, let me find the tweet. It's right here. All you have to do is retweet this tweet. There's been a few tweets out there. We're going to use both of them. We'll have a better plan for you tomorrow. But I'll put this in. Retweet this sticky note, and you will be eligible to get anything you want from our merch store. I suggest the hoodie that Arun is wearing. And the thing about it is on here, look, long Apple 157. We have that. Long Roblox 130. Watch the support of Palantir at 21. So retweet this. We've already had, I think it's about 400 or 500 retweets or so. And then there it is right there. We'll send that back out. Tweet that, and we'll be a draw at 3:30. But we talked about that 157 here on Apple. And then, you know, there it is right there. We come in, we take it on the 157 break right there. Goes a little bit against us. We are 3 cents away from getting a long down here at 156.50. Embarrassing. When I saw that, I just should have marked it in, but I thought I was getting the fill. And then all of a sudden, bounces around here. And I remember right on the show, Arun and I were just talking about it. He was short the futures. And I kind of agreed. I thought we were probably going to head southbound. So we take the dollar at 158, and then this happens, exploding to the upside. So we were on this early with this sticky note. Thank you for supporting it. Thank you for retweeting and everything. And there it was right there, 157 straight to the upside. I'll show you the Roblox trade when we discuss Roblox, but that was the exact same thing. We had the 130 bid on Roblox. We got filled, and that was an exciting ride to the upside as well. So I never hold on long enough, but I hold on long enough to make that cash. So Apple, again, we have 0 LFT. We're at a decent spot today. We're around our daily goal. I'd like to get there for you here this afternoon.
Yeah, well, he's got 0 LFT. This guy has a ton of LFT. Okay, so one stock that was mentioned in the chat, I'm glad someone put this up, is they asked if Square was a buy. Okay, so I'm looking at the low here of the day. 225.51 is the low of the day. I'm going back on this a few days. I'm not necessarily going to go and say that it's a buy, but I do like the idea of going after the short below the low of the day. Why? 225.50, go back to this. There we go. As it loads, this is a 30-minute chart going back a few days, going to the 10th of November. Look how much action is here between, looks like 226 and 227. And the fact that we were just going to put 226.50 or 225.50 as a low for the day and then hesitate all day. If we were to get below that point, that would take out any buying we had this morning and get rid of all the support from the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, and maybe some from the 15th. So there's a lot of volume, not just volume, but a lot of buy-side strength we're sitting at right now. As long as we can get underneath all of it, I think the short is on. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. I know that wasn't what was expected. I was like, oh, is it a buy? Not yet, because I'm aiming for the short, because I feel like going into the final 2 hours of the day, and this stock is actually starting to go down towards the support points that's held for a few days now. So if we can get past that, I think you can activate a short. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm glad that came up, not for the reasons I was like you guys wanted, but hey, that kind of opens up the trade a little bit. One thing that I do want to talk about, LITM. It was that's crazy.
Nuts.
Yeah, the absolute nuts of a stock. Yes, I did say that.
That's good, man.
So I was fairly active. Oh, this is not the stock.
What a nutty stock.
It's a nutty, or it's a nuts of a stock. So,
I got Arun smiling now. This is
because I
great.
can't keep a straight face. I can't keep a straight face. Okay, anyways, yeah. So a couple of trades there. Actually, 2 shorts that didn't work out. I was just like, maybe short there, no. Maybe short there, no. And then when I'm like, okay, you know what? Once they try this at 18, maybe finally a shot there. I put 17.50. I think it was trading at like 17 even or something. Right here it was around a 110. I put the offer at 17.50 just so I can control the risk a little bit. Never got the fill and just took off. Why I wanted to bring this up is these kind of stocks that do this, when they start working a level, remember 18, if anyone remembers from when this stock got to 18, we had it up on our level 2. There was a ton of iceberg offers on 18 even. So the one time they got above 18, it couldn't maintain, and then immediate sell, a little move up, and then sell again. That means that 18 is huge, much larger than people would have thought. There was, Pratt said something about, maybe there's 3 million, the float was 3 million or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but regardless of what it was, there was a ton of action behind the scenes at 18. So when it can't hold and it's gone up like this, it's time to fade it. So hopefully next time you guys see something like this, you guys can jump on board much quicker instead of waiting for, like I did, which was towards 17 and then miss the boat. Now, I had opportunities to step up or step down on the price and maybe get 1650s. Obviously, that could have been an option, but just be aware for future reference, when a stock like this that's moving up very quickly is hitting a level, if it can't maintain a break past that level, odds are the level's bigger than you think it is. So maybe fading it would be the right direction to go.
There was that was today's obviously exciting IPO. Let's rewind the tape here, guys, and go back to yesterday because we got salad green or salad chain sweet green, I guess is what it's called, yesterday about this time, $5.5 billion. It comes to market at. We sat here this morning, guys, and talked about the fact that the market was coming off in the pre-market during that first hour, showing a little bit of weakness, and this thing was kind of holding up, showing a little bit of relative strength. And it does end up giving you actually a decent opportunity to the long side today for SG.
I didn't even look at SG. Right now we are short Rivian against that 135, so just an update on that one. Short Rivian against 135, average in up there, 134.70 or so. I didn't even look at this thing today. Yesterday we did really well on it. It was our trade of the day. Really proud of the way we traded that yesterday. We had some slip-ups in the afternoon here when we dipped down to 46 and change. We did short 50, but we held it, and we only got part out and then got the rest out at 51 or something. And then, yeah, so today, sure, man. I mean, it looks like one more time here. What was that level yesterday? Let me see if I can just blow this up and take the whole screen here. Yeah, so yesterday's bottom there, let's just make this the whole day. Yesterday's bottom was 46 and change. You can see there goes Rivian, now 50 cents in the money. 46.15 or so here on the bottom side. We've been holding that a little bit, but we dipped down. To me, I would have lost trading this mess, not much happening. Would have got excited on that break and then would have thought to wait for 50 and failed, so that didn't happen. But I guess the 50 break here, Brendan, was decent. I mean, that's a level there. You bounced off to 50 here, you bounce off again, come back. So 3 times the charm on that break, breaks 50, gives you 53, and then holds 50 right now. So yeah, actually, the more I look at this, I think you're right. There is an opportunity here today. If it holds that 50 level one more time, we like even dollars. So I think Sweet Green there, yeah, sure. We'll never get any of our money. I don't think they're in Canada yet, but Sweet Green right now, a nice movement there. Nothing wrong with this trade. I think bouncing off 50 is a good one. What does the level 2 look like quickly here? Okay, so this is, all right, so instantly I see a problem here. The spread is 52 cents. So this is going to be like, it looks like there's a lot of liquidity because it's 2.25 million shares, but realistically, there's not a lot of air here to make a mistake. So we'll wait for Sweet Green a little bit, but that $50 should hold. If you want to take a long now and dance with the devil a little bit, you can try that 50. The problem is if 50 breaks, I don't know where your out's going to be, so we can't hold overnight here. So you got to watch out for that level, but the spread is a little too spready for me here with the volume just not here. Remember, every single one of these ticks, like that's 100 shares, right? Every single mark you see on here is multiplied by 100. So then I'd have to trade in between, and you could see all these dark pool prints, 50s, 49s, 38s, 34s. So I think realistically, you could probably get out. It's just that if it starts to move on you, it's not going to be nice. So we'll wait on this. As there goes Rivian, now $1 in the money. We tried some shorts. We got out a little bit. Then we hit it back again. So right now, Rivian short 134.17. Back in the money on this one. We'll see where it goes from here. But Rivian, I think, goes lower on that Amazon news, Brendan.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk now. How about that? Some crypto news, guys. We'll focus specifically on Shiba Inu once again because it has been a little bit quiet over the past couple of weeks when it comes to Shiba Inu. But there are a few different angles here, including some new listings for Shiba Inu and some new opinions, guys. So want to kick things off with a little bit of a look at the exchange that recently listed Shiba Inu, and that is the Gemini exchange, obviously. I mean, what does this mean overall? Do we get more interest now, obviously, because there's going to be more exposure? Why, as well, has this thing kind of gone to sleep a little bit with volume overall?
Right. So, I mean, I think that it just goes to show you guys that, you know, the more liquidity out there for a name, obviously the better it's going to be for everybody. And I just think that we've had some problems with Kraken listing, Robinhood listing. We know it went over to Coinbase and Coinbase Pro. So just to look here at a nice little 7-day chart, we've bottomed out on Shiba a little bit there at 4 again, down here to 4, and we ripped back up to 5. So that's like a 20%, 25% move right there back there on a 7-day chart. We were cruising. Eventually, we wound up breaking 5. If you look at a 30-day move, though, we did get some huge spikes up to almost 9 there. You can see here, though, the last 23 days, we are down 43%. So I think that when you're talking about crypto, and especially a coin that doesn't have much use case other than just, you know, YOLOing and things like that, and I'm not down talking Shibcoin. I actually own the coin. I did get out on that 5 break. It looks like it's not great now as it's back above 5, but well, 492 right now, so it's hovering around. I just think the more listings, you mentioned Gemini there, you know, I think it's better. I think it allows traders like us to sort of move the wallets around. Apparently there's that big wallet holder that's still moving around, the guy that put in 8,000 up to 5.7 billion. There's been some shifting around in that wallet as well, so that's not a dead wallet. They're also burning some SHIB right now as well to get the count down. So I think that, you know, the more this gets heated up on social media, I think the better it is for everybody. The more exchanges that we're listed on, the better it's going to be. And look, I'm a holder of the coin, so I can obviously support this move, but definitely I'm not huge into this one. It's sort of just there for a flyer. And I think as long as that's true, as long as you have some stop orders out here, and if you hold a big position, I think you can trade this, and I think you can trade it fine. But hey, the more exchanges, the better it is for SHIB, and I think the better it is for crypto. Let's get as many countries, as many exchanges, as many people holding and buying crypto as we possibly can, and a lot of people into SHIB because of the social media bump.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? And when one thing gets hot, everything else gets hot. So when Bitcoin started to run, everybody wanted to get participate in some form of the currency and coin world, right?
Yeah.
And you're seeing the same thing in the EV space as well. Everyone sees Tesla, everyone wants to participate in that space as well, and you're seeing this in the Shiba Inu coin as well. So popularity online makes a huge difference. The more exposure you can get, the better things get for your asset. And I'm just going to pull up coinmarketcap.com.
Yep.
I just want to see the quick chart here. What does the technicals on this chart look like? Apart from the social media aspect, apart from how hot it is, as a topic right now, is it this versus that coin? Which one do you want to go with? Let's just go back directly to the charts. What do the charts say? Because I care more about how technicals look, and even though something like this may not be completely entirely based on technicals, you can still form some, guesses and ideas of where can you find buyers, sellers, because it's always like a tendency to do things, regardless of the asset class. People tend to do things in a similar fashion. Now you see the move down from about, I want to say early November, and this is just a 3-month chart. You see this flatlining for the 3 months. We don't need to go that far away, but at least for the last little bit here, it's gone from about 7,082 all the way up. It looks like about 6.3. So it's gotten bigger in value, and it's just gotten much, much bigger. Parabolic move to the upside, and then you see this little move through the end of October where it kind of went sideways and then broke. Ever since it broke, though, it can't seem to reclaim this area right here, which sits at about, I want to say, it sits at about 644, 645-ish area. Tried it once, failed, and then you're starting to see it drift to the downside. What I would say that if this chart were to change, if this were a stock, let's just pretend this was the stock. If this were to get back above that 645 area, I think then you can say, you know what, there's decent support. Technically, it's got fundamental strength. Technically, it looks good. There might be a little bit of resistance, and then you take a shot to the upside. So that's what I would be looking at. Technically, it does look like it's trending down, but I think we can get a shot if we get above this point here, which seems to be about 645 area.
As with many of these types of coins, it's going to need a catalyst. It's going to need more talk. It's going to need more people participating. This was another recent headline. I mean, everyone knows this already, but AMC accepting SHIB as well, guys. So jumping on the Shiba Inu bandwagon. So yes, there are a lot of individual catalysts to hopefully get some sort of response out of this coin over the next little while. Going forward, we'll see what happens with Shiba Inu. But as we said, it needs the volume. It needs the participation and more eyes viewing Shiba Inu, guys. Let's continue along with what was moving around, guys, in the pre-market this morning. I wanted to quickly talk about Nvidia because we had kind of the day 2 reaction after earnings. It was up way more than Apple was in the pre-market. And holding significant levels in the pre-market, coming off, again, if you missed it yesterday, blowout report, all-time highs for Nvidia. I mean, it was okay today, I guess, for Nvidia, guys.
Yeah, just quickly, we will talk about Nvidia, but I just want to give a big shout out to everybody that has this Rivian short with us. I think Brendan also short right now. We're short Rivian, $3.50 in the money. We capped half of it out at 132 for $2. It's dropped another $2 right now. I'm going to hold this name. I think this 120, I don't even have a bid out there. So the only out I have is a 135 break. You're going to see a little tick there. It did tick above 134.25 there. That was a mistake. I accidentally had a stop order at that level because of here, but then I want to give it up to 135. So I got right back in, and hence why we're in this position right now. And sometimes if that happens to you guys, we talk about this on the show all the time. If you make a keystroke error where you get out of something or get into something, the best thing to do is just to regroup, take the trade again, and then work from there. So that's what we did. That's why you see that tick there. It's the only trade I've had on today for Rivian. Okay, back over to Nvidia. And again, anybody, remember guys, anybody that retweets this tweet right here, we'll call it out for you one more time. We're going to do a draw very, very soon. It's the, why is this shrunk? There we go. Shout out to all my Green Bay Packer fans as well. Right on here, Nvidia, going to be patient and wait for the 314 area to start the long. Well, guess what? That never happens. I'm going to put that link in there, retweet it, use the hashtag Sticky Note Nation, or Sticky Note, sorry, Sticky Note. That's the only way we're going to be able to find out who did that. We can find out who retweeted and used the tag hashtag Sticky Note. So put that in there. If Miss V, or if you're around or whatever, you can tell people the instructions there in the chat. But basically, there's the dip down. So we are waiting for this dip down here to 314. That doesn't happen. Takes off real quick. On the pre-market show, we talked about now using these levels, 318 and 316. This is 318 right here. And then this was 316 right here. So we wanted to build a position. My bid on open, guys, was sitting at 318, 318.25, something like that. We only got as low as 319. So I missed that bid. Otherwise, this chart would look ridiculous because we would be long down here and then it'd be like boom. So we let it settle down. We still think it's coming down. All of a sudden, comes back in and I say to myself, we're going to use this 324 as our support. So as it comes back in, it hits 324, giving us the okay. That's VWAP there. Hits the 324. Then we punch our ticket long at 325. You guys were all watching me do this live. It goes up almost immediately. Maybe I can zoom in a little bit. It goes up almost immediately. This is like 3 or 4 minutes later. It goes up that dollar smooth. We take the smooth one, as right now Rivian 350 in the money and still going down. We take that smooth dollar there, which looks like a gem. Take it out, it comes all the way back down, man. Right back down to that 322, 324 does not hold. Unfortunately, we're off the air here. We have other things to do once we go off the air. Enjoy the ride all the way back upside. But just remember, you're still bumping around this 330 area. Arun, I don't know if you have an opinion on this, but whenever there's even dollar levels like this on Nvidia, even though we're at all-time highs, I still feel like, that 330 should be shorted. It's a nice even round number. We'll see what's going. It's an option expiration number as well. We have options expiring today, weekly options. So there's an opportunity there to get this number to get faded because there could be people with 330 puts. They don't want that number to break. So we'll have to wait to see if it comes back up there. But for me, Nvidia was a monster trade. We've been loving this. We've been talking about going long on this thing for days, for weeks, for months. AMD's more my baby, but Nvidia rockets up our long-term portfolio as a percentage. It just keeps increasing, man.
Yeah, my thing with round numbers is that, especially on Options Friday, it's a little different because there's a lot of pegging that happens,
right,
especially because of options being expiring and whatnot. So it gets a little bit trickier, especially on these kind of days to kind of work with round numbers. But on any other day, what I like to see is if it's a round number, usually what happens is everyone tries to play in front of it. And then if it breaks, everyone tries to play on the other side of it. What I like to see is if a level can get hit multiple times and then break and come back, like it happened on LITM. I just want to pull this up. The reason I bring this up is because LITM was 18 was a round number. There was a ton of offers. Everybody was playing in front of it. It backed off, went up again. Now it broke. Everybody's trying to play on the other side of that. Goes up and fails. That's where I like to step in. Where if you were to workaround number and then it broke it and failed, that means imagine how many people went long on the other side of that break. So everyone who went short is getting out. Everyone who sees the shorts getting out, pushing it above 18 are getting long, and then immediately shorts come back in. So that sets up a massive trap, and that's what I look for if I'm looking to play around numbers. Now, if this were to say get above 18, into 1850, start to trade a little bit better, come back down into support, I'll be all over that 18 going on the long side, but for initial breaks, I'm a little tentative on going right after them because of how aggressive they can be. Now, if you catch the right one and you get lucky, obviously you can be, let's just for example say, oh, you know what? 221 break on GME. Yeah, that could have been a nice $1.50 immediately or something like that, right? That you can get lucky, but it's better off to kind of look for situations where a round number is being tested, goes above and fails, or it's been tested, goes above, comes back down, and is willing to hold when it comes back down again. At that point, you know the volume is going to support the long if it's breaking to the upside. At that point, that's a trade that I'm willing to take. A trade that I did just take now is Roku. Let's talk about, since we're talking about round numbers, let's talk about Roku. Roku, zoom it out. What do you have? 235. It's been working 235 pretty much all afternoon, it seems like. Kind of going underneath, coming back above, going back down a little bit more, and finally when it kind of played through, here I am stepping, and finally I think I saw enough, so I'm going to go ahead and take the shot at the short. We're about 28 cents in the money right now with a 15-cent spread. So we are waiting for it to kind of see what it can do to the downside. While I say this, futures are falling off a little bit as well.
I wanted to mention Roblox here real quick, guys. Big red candle there and some volume coming into the sell side for RBLX. You can see a bit of a break to the downside. Still up huge, obviously, on the day. If you missed it, yesterday, Nike unveiling, what was it called again? Nike Land, I think? Nike World. Thank you, Trader Prad, with Roblox. So another monster day for Roblox. Maybe a little profit taking coming in now, though.
Yeah, and again, this is why I'm, I'm trying to give back today. So this is Give Back Friday, Merchandise Friday, and we did have this 130 break. And the thing about it was, you'd make that movement down yesterday to 122 in change, and then break back upside. And then if I zoom in a little bit here, you could see. Here's 130 right here. So 130 is an area that yesterday opened in the pre-market. We were bouncing around, then it rips up, touches 140, and just absolutely tanks back. So coming in today, seeing this thing down to 127, I almost felt like Christmas had come early again on Roblox here, man, because when we were down here, I was like, this has to be the trade, man. You have to take this trade long. And not only that, I'm going to call this up again. And, whether or not this is tooting our own horn, I just trying to show you guys that this is, you see the star? There's an actual star beside this trade. Look long, Roblox 130. Like when I'm starting to start things, just like WSM 208, we can go over that as well if you want to. But look at that, look long, Roblox 130, right? So when you're on that level right here, this 130, I mean, it kept on bouncing against it. When it broke it yesterday, it ripped 10 bucks. So I had the same expectations today. Not the same expectations. Obviously, the market was a little bit different story today, this morning, than it was yesterday. But there's the 130 break right there, right? And so we had that order locked and loaded. So let's see the execution. So here it is. We take that 130. It happens right away, like at 9:35. We take that print, and then let me zoom in a little bit here. Take that print. First out, 131. Not only that, we take the 131 out, and then we feel bad about it. It comes back down. Then we like, you know what? That's not a good out. We want more than this. We can't just take $1 on. It was only though it was half the position. We punched along again. Goes up to 132. Get out 132 right there. Rips up again. Then starts to bounce around. I let it make these highs at 135. Unfortunately, it bounces there 1, 2, 3 times, and 3 times a charm. So we don't really like that position at this point. Not that I don't like it. I still like it, but we're thinking, okay, at this point, we're $4 or $5 in the money. What are we going to do? So I put my stop at 133.50. That actually hits. We get out, so that's 250. It's 350 from our initial position. We'll take that all day. Obviously, you see it fade back in and then take out view up again. And then right now, Roblox hovering. Actually, it's right here, 135, so it's not as bad. We get to that 137.50. I don't want to ever short this thing, really, until we get back to that 140 level. So maybe we'll short it on Monday or so if we retest this 137, gives us an opportunity. Maybe if it opens 138, market comes back in, then we'll crash this thing to the downside. But for me right now, Roblox, hey, a good trade. We'll take this 10 times out of 10. When you break those key levels there, we're taking that one. New position alert, though, quickly. I'll throw it back to you, Arun. I just want to go over this quickly. PayPal, from the trade of the day here on this mistake, boom, boom, boom. We finally wait for it to take out this 194.25, and now we're short into PayPal here. Not sure where we're going to go, but this is the position that we have right now. Short PayPal, trying to take out 194. We do that. Here it comes right now. I don't know what's below this this thing. I don't really have a target for this. I can't believe how low PayPal's going. You guys know that. I've been recommending this for a while. I mean, my average position is still under this, but it doesn't matter what your average position is. It just matters on the most recent trades you've made. This bottom here, 175, I don't think we're getting to that today, but that's like about the best I can find, like going all the way back to October or last year, basically. This is November of last year, a 180. So it's given back absolutely everything it's made. All the problems started right here when they started talking about Pinterest. Boom, you see the volume. Like, look, it's cruising, right? I mean, it's all-time highs. It's battling back. It's battling back right here. It's hitting the 50-period moving average. Then all of a sudden, this volume picks up on the the Pinterest interest. And yeah, that just started to cascade down. Here's their earnings. They miss on earnings, and they guide lower. That's nasty. Venmo's going to be on Amazon. I thought that was going to be a big sort of spurn for them to get back to the upside. Looks like it's a spurn in their rear to the downside now as we just break through right now 194. So we have this short. I'm happy about the win, but I'm not happy about the long-term position. PayPal's always been a long-term play for me, so I guess we just have to sit and wait and hold this bag until something happens. I don't know if you see anything on this.
I mean, I'm going to do the same thing, not with PayPal, but on the futures. I've been sitting and holding and seeing if something happens because we made the read. We've made the read this morning, coming into the day, given what was happening above that previous all-time high, which was around 47.12 or something like that. That move in the pre-market, then fallout through Europe, and then here we are on the move back up. So I faded all the way up, and here we are just waiting for this market to move. And we are going into the final, hour and a half, 90 minutes of the day, Options Friday. So that should bring some volatility as well. So hopefully it's to the downside, because for now we've been in this trade. But I want to say it started. Yeah, it's been all day. I started my first entry at like 8:30, I think. 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. So here we are waiting for this trade to happen. Somebody was asking what happened to Macy's and holding it all day. Well, things change as the day goes on, right? And you have to be open to you have an idea in mind of what you want to do, but at the same time, you have to be open to the idea of new information coming in, changing how you look at things. It's a balancing act where you don't want to jump out too early, but at the same time, you have to respect the new information that comes in. It seems like when I got in the first time, it looked good. And then we got to 35.40 and I started to see some decent support where I'm like, I don't know if I want to let this go too high or if I want to let this bounce too far, because the risk on this trade was about $2. And I was like, well, if we get to 35 and then I can start to manage it. But if it starts to bounce before, then I have to kind of tighten things up a little bit. It kind of went down, bounced back up to 36, kind of started to fall over. And then I was concerned about what was happening in the mid 80s. I'm like, I'm putting $2 on the line anyways. At this point, I can just take my 2 cents, walked away from the trade. It's at 45. That would have been a 50-cent winner, but it's fine. And it's based entirely on what you're seeing and if that information makes sense for how things could potentially play out. For me, it made sense, so I just walked away from it. So that's one trade that kind of just was actually the only one I think I was carrying towards the end of the day, where I kind of just walked away from. And Roku, we are still waiting on Roku. If they can actually just get going below 235, it seems like, yes, there was decent support, but it seemed like there was enough pressure to kind of move this thing and accelerate it. But it seems like somebody's, not just somebody, but there seems to be a decent buy-side movement and people crossing to the upside above 235, which is kind of slowing this market from going to the downside. So that's not helping the case. So all we can rely on now is the futures, right? We made the read. Can we get to the low bottom of the range? And again, like I mentioned earlier today, though, for anyone who didn't see it, I'm looking for a target of 70, not target, but at least the mid 70s as the first location to start to do anything on this trade. What I tend to do with the futures is when I get into a position, I'll hit checkpoints or I'll mark off checkpoints at which I'll start to manage the trade. Otherwise, I won't do anything with it. And this thing needs to get below 85 for me to start looking at potentially maybe moving a stop or something like that. And then into the 70s would activate some targets for me. But for now, we're just going to be waiting. It seems like the market wants to bounce a little bit. And one thing we need to check anytime a market wants to bounce, what is Apple doing? Still flirting with 160.5, not a whole lot, it seems like. So quiet afternoon for what could be an exciting close given options. But again, it's options on a November Friday, so it's kind of
before Thanksgiving as well.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how this goes. You guys will see the market either accelerate or not, or completely just die off. So if it accelerates, that'll be nice for volatility, for trading. If it just dies off, it's going to be a long weekend, and not just long weekend, but a long week, because you have a holiday shortened week next week. So there could be a lot of patience and waiting to be done next week.
It's going to be a fun week anyways, next week heading into Thanksgiving south of the border. Sean, you mentioned Williams-Sonoma. Just noticed it was back to this, area, I guess, of resistance from the morning on the way up, or midday, I guess it was, by the time it got to 217. But we were sitting here in the morning talking about why is this thing all the way down here, and look where we are, basically all the way back.
Unbelievable. Oh, man. Yeah, so again, look, it's on the sticky note to take this 208 break, and unfortunately, it was just too messy in here to do that in the pre-market. I didn't want to take it in the pre-market, yeah. I tweeted it out. It's on the sticky note. Why are we there? Why are we down to 208? I don't have to keep showing the sticky note. You guys can go find it. Hopefully, you're retweeting it. But my note on here as I read it is, why is this down? Look to break 208 long. So, yeah, I didn't see anything wrong with the numbers at all, guys. You could see that it's starting to make its move back to the upside. It just touched 220. I thought that 208 was just like a gift down there. I don't know why we didn't take it. Well, I know why. We are into so much here off the open, but there it is, a nice move up to 220. Williams-Sonoma continues to work, and why it was on the sticky note. And then not only that, but we talked about it yesterday that we liked it. And then here's the 208. So it's kind of like 209. That little bottom wick is 208 right there. It's kind of a random price. If you're going to be more specific, we could have used 212 off that bottom there yesterday. That was made. You take and consider some of these wicks, and that bottom one is 208. So and this is a 20-minute chart, right? So 208 down there, 208 closed sort of the day before. So that's kind of the breaking spot that we wanted. No surprise that we filled the gap all the way back to 220. Would have been nice to take out this 222. I'm not in this name. Would have loved to get into it this morning. Should have. Even for my longer term, I love Williams-Sonoma. I think move this way. I think the quality of the products that are sold in there are very, very elite. Just quickly here, 132.25 break. I thought I'd be out of this already. Rivian, we're going to give this back to 132.25. So we're almost out. We're in the money, $2. It gave away some of that trade on the bottom there. It bottomed out at 130 flat. There it is. We're out of there. We'll ring the register. We'll hit the money on this one as we get out of Rivian right now. Just to give you guys an update. 132 flat out there on Rivian. So that's $2 winner. Just don't want to give it back to the upside. Make sure my stop orders are canceled and whatnot. So there it goes out of Rivian. We didn't take enough profit on that. Well, we took a lot of profit on it, but not enough. Would have liked to take more, is what I'm getting at there at this 130. But we thought maybe there's a 128 break for Rivian coming through. PayPal, you can see that's the only trade I have on board right now, 55 cents in the money. I wanted to quickly, though, before we go on anything else, and I don't know if you had a thought on that, but look at Lucid, man. I just looked at my chart here because I was like, okay, Rivian starting to go back up. Let's have a look at Lucid. Wow, Lucid. I'm really happy as an owner of Fisker. We've talked about how that's been doing today. Well, not on this show, but earlier we liked Fisker up 8% as well. Lucid taking out some of these highs today right now. And you can see this is actually... it's within dollars of Roblox. So right now, Lucid, my number one stock, actually. Roblox falling behind number 2. Apple number 3. Rivian just made a nice move there, up my leaderboard as well. But there's the 50 break. I love 50 break. I don't even need to show you anything else. Anytime it breaks 50, I don't care what the stock is, we're taking that every single time. Like Neil would have shorted, which is just the way he operates, which is fine. We would have seen how that would have been. And it's just... I like to short or like to trade through 50. And again, it has nothing to do, and if Neil was here, he'd say the same thing. Like when a stock comes up to a key level, those are indications, right? Just like Arun, how you talk about futures coming up to key levels and things like that. Unfortunately, the fortunate thing about futures is you can really specialize, right? There's only one thing to look at, either contract, the NASDAQ or the ES. Unfortunately, stocks all can behave differently, but I love 50 breaks. I love 100 breaks, $75 breaks, anything like that. Just like right here, man, we're about to break 54. I'd rather take a 55 break, but this might be good too. So you wait for that break to happen, boom, bang it out. Our best out there, 51.10 or something like that. And then we hold there for 52. We get the smooth $2. We actually let this thing go to 53, but it hits 53 right there and comes back. When I saw that happen, I right away put the stop in at 52. And that saved me because it came all the way back to 50, 60 before touching VWAP and taking off again. It touched it again there and took off. We tried a long on this break, which was 53. Actually, not even 53, 52.80 or something like that. I liked it up here, that kind of a break. We take a little bit of money and get flashed out there for flat. Either way, that was another winning trade. We should have had it again, but now 54 breaking there on Lucid. So another good one, man. Congratulations, anybody that's been long this name. It just continues to work. And I think more ahead, man. Car of the year, the Lucid Air. The car of the year there. So
a car of the, which is hilarious to me, which is, it's a car of the year which you can't get your hands on until the next car of the year is there.
Right.
So yeah. So
I don't know if anybody's there. I mean, I know there's a showroom in San Francisco. I believe there's maybe one or two in Los Angeles. Let us know what it looks like. If anybody knows how long it takes to get a Lucid Air or anything like that. I don't think you can just walk in the showroom and drive one off the lot. You can't do that at any car dealership right now, as far as I know. Inventory is really low, but let us know. And I think I agree with you, man. I mean, hard to judge a stock when the cars aren't even on the road yet.
Yeah.
Right?
Just a quick update with my Roku. I don't like what's happening. I thought there was enough to work underneath 235, so I went for the short. There's not enough, so I just walked away. Took my 10-cent hit and walked away on Roku. You did mention futures, so I just want to kind of briefly get into this because a lot of the times when I talk about futures, I feel like not everyone is understanding or understands exactly what I'm talking about. Futures are just a tradable index derivative, right? Allows you to trade the market as a whole. Each future contract or each different type of futures contract, specifically we're talking about the S&P or the ES contract, has different components or different number of components. S&P has 500 components, all of them weighted with different weights. Obviously the big names like the Apples and the Microsoft have the heavier weights. So when you add them all up, they total 100%. So each individual component does influence the futures contract as a whole. Now there's a bunch of these. There's the ES, there's the NASDAQ, then you have the Dow futures, so I'm sure everyone hears of the Dow being up or down this much or that much. Then you also have the Russell contracts as well. So there's a bunch of different contracts that focus on different parts of the market, and the S&P is the one that's kind of just like a broad overview because it kind of covers the 500 largest companies. So here we are trading the S&P 500 contract. Anyone who's curious about trading it, go on the CME website, cmegroup.com, I believe it is, and just kind of learn about it because it's not the same as stocks because these are leveraged contracts, right? So each 1 point is $50 for one contract, and then you also have margin requirements that are just absolutely nuts right now. So it's somewhere close to $20,000 just to trade one contract, and one contract controls like $200,000 worth of stock. There's a lot of complexities to it. It's a little bit trickier than stocks for anyone who's just like, oh, maybe I want to trade that. If you do want to learn, there's micro contracts as well, which are called the MES contracts. It trades at a tenth of the value. The price is the same, I believe, but it trades at a tenth of the value. So instead of 1 point being worth $50, 1 point is worth $5. So there's a lot of information out there. Go ahead and learn because it does help when you're trading individual names. It does help to know what the relationships are to the market as a whole. And then when the people say, oh, the market's up or down this much or that much, now you know what they're talking about and how they refer to it. It's just a tradable version of what people refer to as the market.
Man, before we go back over to you, Brendo, PayPal, guys, like, mamma mia, what is going on with this name? Like, it's really hurting. It's not really hurting, but the long-term account is not liking this pizza pie celebration here. And in respect to you, Arun, you like pineapples. You've talked about that with the jalapeno on there. So my partner in crime today has his head straight. But look, we just took $1, so it's smooth dollar. I told you I don't have any areas to worry about with PayPal. It just downside. So I took the $1. I mean, I just sat there, took it as it came down, ran right through. The low of the day is 193.09. So it just ran right through that. That's the trade that we've had on. So far, let's just review the two trades that I've given you so far here in the afternoon. Rivian short 134, cashed out 132 twice. So that's 2 outs right there. Back-to-back $2 winners. And then there's $1 for you right now on PayPal. I still think we make moves to the lower side here with only 65 minutes left in the day. We'll watch and see. This PayPal, I don't know where it's going to stop, and nor do I want to even try to guess anything on this one. If you guys have some key levels that I may be missing here on PayPal, haven't been able to find anything, so I just got out there for smooth dollar, and the same thing we did on Nvidia. It may be wrong, it may be right, but we're just going to keep watching the momentum here as it just continues to bleed down. I mean, there's the short on the day low break. This is the thing. Not only was it a day low break, but it's right there at that quarter level. I love trading the quarters. If it's going to break the quarters, it for sure tests the O's is my theory. And if you break the O's, then you get this. So here we go. PayPal, nice little move to the downside. Before we go back to you again, though, Brendo, Ethereum, you know we bought this yesterday. So let's do a little bit of Bitcoin action right now. I don't have a problem telling you, when I'm dipping in. It wasn't a big position, man. I bought $2,000 worth, just averaging. I won't tell you how much I'm currently holding, but I've been talking about this for years and years and years. My first purchase, I think, was in 2017, just to give you guys an idea of what we're talking about. Nice little move upside there. If you look at the daily chart, this is why I bought. It was just at 4K. I think I honestly bought it like $4,030, something like that, on some dip downs here. We held this is just a daily chart, so we can zoom in a little bit more here. This is the Ether on Kraken exchange. So again, if it did anything different, I apologize, but right down there, 39.71 was the low there. It's defended this 4,000 a couple times. It touched basically 5, pulls back a G note from there, we'll take it. So we are buying now more and more and more. And then the latest one also, I only bought 2 yesterday. We were waiting for Cardano at 168. That didn't fill. I think that got as low as 170. Now back to 190 was Solana. So I got that as well at 194 yesterday. And I believe, let's just check out our CoinGecko right here. We got to go back because we were talking about SHIB before. Where's Solana? There it is right there. So 218, so a nice little 8% move backside on that name. So we're pretty happy with that movement. So far so good on all this. Dogecoin up 2.6%. Litecoin 4.5%. I'm interested in Litecoin. That bounced a lot, man. That got up to like 300 and now back to 220. That's even a better opportunity than everything else maybe. And that's about it, man. I see you, Ripple. Let's get going.
Yeah.
All right, we talked about Nike there briefly, guys, with Roblox. Just saw Foot Locker as well popping back up on some volume here. I mean, this thing, another one that just got absolutely smoked today. 12%. It got back above 50 there, came in, retested, and is trying to move away from 50, which is obviously a big level over here on the daily chart after earnings. I mean, another one that, earnings were decent. 193 versus 138, 2.19 billion versus 2.14. There were some holiday question marks, I guess, but they did say they do believe they have enough inventory for holiday shopping demand. So, another one here getting sold off pretty hard today.
Yeah, a lot of talk about Nvidia in the chat. So I quickly looked at the chart of Nvidia. Oh man, they really are flirting with this 330.
It's back up there?
Well, now back down. If you were there 5 minutes ago.
That was the level I wanted. We just talked about that.
329.80 something.
Oh, come on.
And then now here it is at 328.55. It's gonna kind of chop around. Until we get either below 320, and not even 328, I think it can go as low as 327 and still come back up. So it's probably going to be somewhere around here. I'd be comfortable around 325.50, but it's too late in the day for trading something that wide. So the only real shot is what happens if 330 were to go. If 330 were to go, like I mentioned earlier, if it goes and comes back in immediately, then there's a short there. If it kind of just goes and sits above, I'm probably going to let it go just because I'm not a fan of these late session with an hour left, going into an imbalance at 350. Do I want to go long on a new break this late in the day? I'm going to say no. So I would love to see a failed break, but not necessarily a break, because that would just kind of ruin any trade management I would have, because it gets volatile towards the end, right? As we get closer and closer to the imbalances coming out. For anyone who doesn't know, imbalances come out 350 every day for stocks, usually just a indicator that tells you how much orders that have an on-close order tag have not been matched. So there's X amount of shares that haven't found a buyer or a seller. So that needs to be done at the end of the day, creates pressure on the stock as we get closer and closer to 4 o'clock, and the official price is to be set. So for now, we're just going to leave it be. If there's a failed break at 330, then there might be a trade there for me. And futures, what are you doing? Still flirting around 4,700. Not a whole lot. I mean, there isn't a whole lot to talk about because it really has gone quiet. Apart from the stocks that Sean supposedly has picked amazingly well, his Rivian and his PayPal trades.
Wait a minute, supposedly?
Supposedly picked amazingly well. His Rivian and PayPal trades are stellar. So yeah.
Yeah, I was questioning the word supposedly because that's firing some shade at said positions. But look, I don't want to be short PayPal. So I mean, I do in the market, but unfortunately, like I said, we've been talking this name up, and I thought that some of these fintech names would be pretty safe. We got out of 2/3 supposedly of our trade down here at 193 on that bottom play, and then right now, just so you guys know, I am supposedly getting out at 120. I'm just playing around. 124.25. If it breaks back upside, I don't really want to hold this name. I think if we could explode, maybe we found a bottom, and maybe this is just me talking again, because I wanted to find a bottom. But 124.25 or 194.25. If this goes back anywhere, back to flat, I'm out of this name, and we'll just take that for what it is, make our money back. PayPal now a positive stock for me on the day, so. Like I said, we'll take that trade and then we'll get out if it does break back above. Not positive because this has come back in right now. But, we took that one hit earlier on PayPal right here where we averaged down. One time, it breaks that 198, 199 that we talked about, 198.50 or so, breaks that. We get to the downside and it continues to go down. So that's our PayPal trade. And I'm just a little bit, we'll go to Brendan in a second. Thank you, Jude, for that, yelling at me about this 330. But like literally 10 minutes ago, I said if this ever gets back, remember I was talking about even levels that we wanted to short this 330? Oh, yeah. We were too busy talking to you guys and missed that trade. And that's part of what we do. And I know Neil and I talk about that all the time. There's only so many things that we can do here. I'll need to get Prad to set me up a bot for all these trades because honestly, like I have so many ideas, I just can't execute them all sitting here while also hosting the show. But I'm sure as hell glad that Jude and I think Mike has it as well. So congratulations, guys. You may want to get out though. I don't know what you think the market's going to do here, but I like a $2 winner on this trade if you can get it. Brendan.
Black box stocks, just popping up here, a little one that we talked about a couple of days back. If you remember, it's a recent addition to the market, data analytics firm, BLBX. I was just trying to pull my chart over and it's not working. 18% here. Remember this? I think it was a SPAC. It was a recent D-SPAC. 20% though, just had a big volume spike there for BLBX.
Yeah. All right. Let me take a quick look at Rivian. I was just looking. Okay, so the reason I said supposedly is because I'm kind of jealous about your trade. I was looked at this chart. I just looked at it. I'm like, 134 it looks like a decent level. Now I look at it, I'm like, oh man, yeah, that was a decent level to work with because what do you get from this morning? You get the 950 move around 134.50. You get the 1030 move around 134.50. And then it hesitated right here when it kind of fell right through there. So on a bounce back up, you could argue that there's a trade there. Sean took that trade. I didn't even see it. I was like, oh, okay. So I was looking at other things. So I'm just like, oh man, that was because I didn't even realize until Sean told me that this move was like $7. Because I'm like, oh, that's not that big of a move. I'm like, oh, it's not that big of a move. It doesn't look that big of a move on the chart. Then I realized that each bar or line that I had was $1. Not the normal spread or normal axis that I set. So yeah, quite the move on Rivian there. So that's a great trade. I didn't see it, so I'm kind of jealous about that one there. Because I'm sitting at this point going, come on, market, do something, because there's nothing that's happening that I can work with. Macy's, of course, is continuing its move towards 35. That was nice. That could have been nice, actually. Roku's turning around, but I think even though I got out of this, I don't see myself getting back into this trade because the way it's been trading around this 235 makes me think that there could be a move to the upside that worries me enough to not put up the risk. And given that we're getting to the end of the day, I'm not going to bother trying to take any more positions. So if you guys are going to talk about some stocks that are really moving around, I'm very curious to see what you guys are talking about. I'll pull up the charts, see if I can analyze it a little bit more. And if there seems to be something that's not crazy in terms of risk that is setting up, I might take a shot on those. But I will be wary of the fact that 350 brings an imbalance, and imbalances, you know, if you're flat going into an imbalance, it means the stock is going to move entirely based on that single number. That means your net is going to move entirely based on that single number.
Yeah.
Not a fan of that kind of a situation, but if there's something setting up in the next 15 minutes, throw it in the chat. I'll take a look at it. Maybe there's a trade there that I can jump on board as well.
I think we've done a good job. And you said it the other day, and I know it was just half joking, but half seriously, right? And that is that Arun doesn't like to smile because we have real money on the line. And I think that that's sort of what Arun was getting at there when we're talking about having a lot of things to juggle. I mean, there's nothing wrong with missing a trade. I mean, we're always looking for different things. And a lot of it is for you guys. I mean, you're giving us the names, like right now, GTech, Tesla, TDOC, everything's coming at us, right? We're going to miss some of these names. That's why Brendan's here to drop us any like breaking news. We'll definitely have that for you. But I just want to talk quickly because we did short that Rivian. And I just want to give you this 140 area for everybody. And it's just interesting because it touched it again today. If you're going to notice here, these were the bottoms. I mean, nowadays, it's every day is like a blur. So I don't even know what day this was, Wednesday, I guess, where we touched down here 140, 141, you know, and then bounced off there. We bounced off here again on whatever day the 15th was, the same type of thing. We bounced off 140 and went back to the upside. And then this is yesterday, 140 was the highs before we touched down to 120 again. So when you get a rip up like this on the daily chart or on the minute chart here, like just a strong move up, and you're thinking to yourself, where am I going to short? Like, you know, if you shorted right here, I could understand that because you have these highs, right? And so that's a good short. But then when you break it, you obviously go long, and then you know it's pretty choppy in here, like upside 137, back down, back down, back down. So as you can see, some of these fills come in pretty tough. But if you wait for that ultimate high there, which was again not horribly hard to find based on the 20-minute chart, which is why we go back and look at some of these things, right? So you have that 140 in there, hit a couple times, and then Rivian to the bank right there on a 134 short. Nicely done. I wish I would have held this now, obviously, Arun, as we're taking out 131, maybe back down to the downside, but $2 there, back and forth on this name. Good trade. PayPal, Brendan, we'll go to you in a minute if you have anything, or we can stay here. PayPal coming back in right now, 194 and change. We are ready, I think, though, quickly. We'll throw to Brendan and, if we need to, but for right now, let's go over to Valeria and talk about sticky note hashtag challenge, guys, which is coming up in just a couple minutes.
I hope you already made a retweet, because right in 24 minutes, we'll find out who won merchandise. And again, I remind you how you can participate. Guys, if you can show my screen, you can go to this link I'm going to send on the chat and literally just retweet this tweet. After that, we'll find out the winner. We'll contact you on Twitter, and you'll be able to choose any merchandise from our store. Back to you.
All right, great. Thank you, Ms. V. I'm very, very excited for us. Our first merchandise giveaway happening right here on the show today. So thank you for all of that, man. It already has like 400 or 500 retweets. The problem is there was some people retweeting what I put out, or as long as you hashtag sticky note, you're in the game. So that'll happen at the big screen coming up. Thank you, Ms. V, for reviewing said contest with us. So guess what, man? PayPal came right back. It's right back. Like now, that's a great, like how good of an out is that looking like right now? Almost as bad as these ins are looking. So that was a good out right there. And again, you know, sometimes you got to go back to the well and hit some of these trades. And look what happened just now, man. It came right up. It didn't tick us out. Came right back to 25 again, and literally just cruising right now. Once it ticks above that, we will get out. You'll see the order go out, and we'll get not marketed out. I'm just crossing up 10 cents. I assume that's going to be enough to fill there, so that will be good. Hey, what's up, Daryl? Thank you for joining one more time to our chat. We love you, Daryl. Has been on our show twice as a guest, and also Jude, big participation as well, and everybody sharing. Mike, I'm not going to call out everybody. There's too many right there on the show. Quickly, just on Clover. Look, we've taken a bath on Clover, and again, you know, like I sit here with like humbled by PaySafe just keeps going down. Clover's not as bad because honestly, our average price is like $7.50, something like that. And then yes, because we were just defending, Clover's different than PaySafe. I really thought PaySafe had a chance, man. FinTech was super hot. We had Upstart rallying, all the talk, all the rage in FinTech, right? Unfortunately, DeFi and things like that have taken over some of that. Everyone's trying to work on FinTech projects. I definitely blew PaySafe pay safe. But Clover, I doubled up yesterday at 560. So now my average price, whatever it is, 730. I didn't even look at the average price, but 560 plus, I literally just doubled the shares, 750, 560. So our average price is going to be around 650 on this name. So I'm not going to get out if it goes back to 650, targeting 8. I think if we can get back up to $8, then we'll definitely get out of like 75% maybe, and then hold out for that home run. If we can get it, that would be fantastic. But right now, Clover on the daily, I haven't taken anything yet today. I was waiting for it to make a bottom. There's just not enough action in this name to really be day traded. So I'm going to pass on this for all you, because what am I going to do? Go long 75 and take out 5 cents? Like, unfortunately, that's what we were doing yesterday. And it's just, it's too boring. Like, I sit there and stress out. I don't stress out about it, but you know, today it's not really doing anything. But in the same token, maybe we made a bottom yesterday at that 555. So hopefully that happens. We've doubled our position on there. You can get it right now. I mean, I got it 20 cents lower. It's not, you know, rocket science. We'll try to take that. If it works, it works. But so far, so good. What the heck is Rivian doing? 131. Okay, I thought it cracked even lower there, but we're out of everything. Oh, PayPal got out. So, hey, man, it didn't work out for us on the super long-term time frame there, but hey, that's $1, man. We put the dollar on 2/3, and then right there we're out at 124.27. So we lose 2 pennies on the upside there. So take 98 cents, whatever it was, lose 2 cents. I like that ratio.
Yeah, there's a couple trades, well, a couple stocks that I noticed here in the chat that I want to take a look at. Obviously, Tesla was one of them. I'll get to that as well. TDOC has been, I actually didn't even know this stock was moving like this. This was a nice short below 121. Now we're below 121, and I kind of, okay, we missed the trade. What do we do now? Now that I know it's moving like this, I'll mark it off. What I want to do is set some levels up maybe for Monday that I can work with. Okay, I know 127 seems to be the high, so maybe there's a stop there. If we get below 121, a short would have put a stop based on the way it was trading around 123.50, maybe 124. So we'll mark that level off as well. And then any move into 121.50 into 122 that hesitates on Monday, it's too late for that trade today. But if it hesitates, goes up and hesitates on Monday, there could be a shot there on TDOC. So I'm just going to mark that off for Monday. Another trade that I want to look at, BABA. We actually tried to get short on BABA. It was gone. It was this move right here. I was worried about 141.50. I talked about this earlier. Once we got below 141.50, I put the offer right there. So in the event that it came up, I would get filled. It never came up high enough to get me on the offer. So here we are. It's trading around 140.5. Keep an eye on this though, because the way it's been moving, big move down, went sideways a little bit towards the end there, kind of declared some levels around 143, 142. Same thing in the pre-market today. And then we kind of went up to 145. I was actually about to go long if it stayed above 145. Complete reversal. So that opens the downside up. Keep an eye on this, 145 on the stop up top. Anything into the 142 area could be shorted depending on how it moves into that area. So a couple areas that could provide resistance for shorts on Monday. And then a Zoom is another trade I was trying to get my hands on below 255. Once it actually cracked 254 and stayed below, which would be right around here, which was around like 130-ish, I put the offer at 254.5. Never, as you can see, never got up there, but the same area is in play for Monday. Nice little setup maybe for Monday on Zoom. And Tesla, everyone loves Tesla. Everyone loves to trade Tesla. Me personally, it's too expensive, so I stay away from it. So, but I can look at it technically going, yeah, you know what, above 1120 could have been a nice long given that it hesitated around 1115, 1120 to the upside. But I do want to pose a question for the chat. Why does everyone love trading Tesla? Because I want to know. Because for me, it's too expensive, so I trade other names. Because when it gets too expensive, it's very hard to judge volume because the volatility is that much higher. Hence why I don't trade Amazon at $3,000 or Google or Shop or any of those high-priced names. That's my reasoning for staying away from these high flyers, not just high flyers, but the really expensive names, right? So I want the chat to tell me why they love trading Tesla. What is it that you gain from trading Tesla apart from the money aspect of it? Because if you hit it right, great. But what is it? Is it the way it moves? Is it the volume? Is it the way the level 2 sets up? What is it that I'm just very curious because maybe I'm not looking at it the right way, and I'd love to hear why.
All right, so we'll see what the chat has to say about that one. Yeah, someone lost 25K shorting it. So yeah, and I think I was gonna say why, and I think it's just the volatility, man. I mean, it's always moving around. There's lots of volatility in a lot of EV names, but I think a lot of people want to trade the king, right? And I think Elon has come out with a lot of tweets lately and given the price movement on some of these stocks. So I think that's not probably, I'm pretty sure that's what it is, but they're going to be talking about that right there. Got to get the right entry. Yeah, I mean, there is lots of opportunity with Tesla, and I think that's one thing that people like to look at, Arun. So that is one reason possibly why people like Tesla and so on and so forth. I'm just a little bit not worried, but I am short now. So thank you for the updates on this Nvidia trade. Arun's reading these, guys, so keep the comments coming. There it is. So we alert. I said, man, you might want to get out around here like 28.50. So I'm going to try to do exactly what I said on this trade. It comes back up, and then guess what? We are now my favorite. If you know what this is. Okay, I'm reloaded. There we go. We're reloaded. You know, we're reloaded for the first time right now. Firing blanks. Shouldn't say that. That didn't mean what I'm saying. But firing blanks on Nvidia upside because we didn't have a trade on that one, and now we do. So I'm gonna try to. What do they say? Do as you preach or whatever. So we'll be around here, 328.67. This has been a long week. 328.60, 328.50. If we can get a bid out there, we'll take that at least for half of our trade, at least right there. If we can get out, we've already dumped around 3. You know what? I might just take this out at 329 for half. And I know that's not going to look like a monster trade, obviously, because it's not. But at this time of day, man, if we can just sort of start stacking up that cash, Arun, we'll do that. And if we can do that, I'm going to put a bid now like 329 flat, something like that, and 329.02. It might not even happen. If this breaks 330, we're doubling our position long. So this, I could get myself into a very, very nasty situation here if it breaks and doesn't go. So just to let you guys know, we're going to do the same thing. If it breaks 330, like, so this could be a decent loser coming up here. I'm hopefully not jinxing this because I know some of you are short. But if it breaks 330, breaks above it, we're going to go long double the shares we have right now and see about it continuation to the upside. Now, if it fails, and again, we're just talking about this because I'm trying to get the ducks lined up. If it fails through 330 and comes back in, our out is going to be 328. I'm going to give it all the way down. I don't want to be one of those guys that gets like, you know, kind of like, I'm not going to say punked, but like wicked away. You'll hear Neil say, oh, I got wick stopped. That doesn't exist. Like, your stop either hits or it doesn't hit. If you get wicked out, to me, that's an indication to get back in. We did that a couple times today. I can show you some different examples. That's the way that I look at these things. You got to have the stops. So if this hits, we're going to be out and doubled up the long, and I'm going to hold it back. So this could wind up being, first of all, the break hit's going to be nothing. Let's go, Nvidia. Just print me at 329, then everything I'm saying is going to be irrelevant. So if we just get a 329 print for half, we'll take that. Then we'll wait for lower on that move. But if we can get that, that's great. Sorry for talking a little bit, maybe too long there, but I did want to base out with everybody where we are on the strategy, just in case it fails. But failure, for me, is not an option because we're trying to make that money. Right now it's 50 cents in the money. We'll see if it can keep coming to the downside. We're going to watch the breaking spot here. Hopefully, are you still short the futures?
Yep. Yeah,
good. So hopefully we can get a nice move down. Come on, baby. Where are we? I'm not even bidding anymore. There it goes, crashing back down. $1 in the money right now on Nvidia. Let's go, baby. This is the trade that we want, guys.
There you go. Excitement happening across the board as the futures fall off. Here you go. Now we're getting into the heart of the move here because this is around the time when volatility picks up. In the next 10 minutes or so, a lot of people are going to start making adjustments for, well, not people, but a lot of program traders are going to start making adjustments for the close. So tends to happen around, I want to say 335 to 340 when closing programs kind of come online and you start to feel a little bit of pressure. And if this is the kind of precursor to that, I would love it because I am short. Remember, we are short from this morning here. We've got some shorts below 90. We got some shorts below 4,700s. Average is around 94. The market is trading at 46.94. So this is a great thing to see. But I do have to wonder, okay, how much can this go? Because we do have support here. I would love to see some program activity to the downside away from this 4,700 because I also have to consider options too right now. So that's kind of one of those situations where it'd be nice to see the programs come online to the sell side. A move that we were kind of marking off and like, okay, if it got below, I'm not going to take this. It's way too late for me to start entering these kind of trades now. But 224, whoa, okay. 225.50 is the marker I had for Square. If we got below, it would have been a nice little move. We're getting below. So you know what I'm going to do with Square? I'm not going to take the trade today, but I am going to mark it off. It looks like 225.50 could be in play for Monday, as long as we don't kind of snap back towards the close. But for now, I'm going to mark that off. And everybody was talking about Tesla. I heard you. Most of what I saw was momentum, the volatility and the momentum. There's so many different ways of trading, and I think I'm starting to realize that the way I trade is not kind of geared towards the momentum side of things. I kind of like position up, and that's why I kind of didn't understand why people love Tesla. Obviously, the volatility is one thing, but tradable volatility is completely different. And I think I analyze more and more volume than I do, and I have a very hard time with my criteria. Essentially says that I have a hard time anything above a certain price, and I think Tesla's one of those names. So I'm going to stick with what I'm doing, but I hear you guys on the momentum side of it, because I can only imagine how exciting it is when something like this moves. Tesla moving, what, 40 bucks on the day? But technically too, though, I think 1120, you combine technicals with momentum and you got a decent winner on your hands. So 1120 on the upside. For now, though, we are just going to start figuring out what trades we can make for Monday. Like I said, I like to position trade, right? So I'll kind of build a position and then kind of let it go. So Zoom, Baba, TDOC, and Square, those four, some of them actually from the chat kind of mentioned it. So I kind of pulled them up. Keep an eye on them. We'll set something up for Monday, and we'll just write out this futures position until the end. And we've got about 10 minutes or so until we probably have, I'm going to say probably because it's not an exact time. It's going to be the 10-15 minute window where closing program should come online to kind of push futures and stocks and whatnot based on how much volume needs to be done based on their client orders.
I did want to just explain one. I mean, I don't need to explain anything to people, but there's a lot of people hating on whenever we go short or things like that. And I mean, you have to understand what, the purpose of this show, first of all, is to educate and give you guys some trades and have some fun and do things like that, right? Hence the graphics, hence those stupid things like that. Obviously, and we have maybe I'll put out that Commons Trader thing one more time. But, a lot of this is, like Arun was saying, this is serious money. Like when we're making trades here, we're actually it's eat what you kill. I'm not doing this for fun. I'm doing this for a job. I mean, a lot of you guys, if you're day trading for a job and you're day trading to put food on the table, you have a family, this is serious stuff. We're not sitting here joking around with some of these trades. Like Arun said, I don't even want to explain some of the positions I've seen you in, my friend. Mm-hmm. So let's not get any of this stuff twisted here that we're joking around. I mean, we're joking around, we're having a good time, and I'm glad that I can provide this to you. But at the same time, these are real positions. And honestly, if I think something's going to go down I'm hella long Nvidia. I love Nvidia. But if I can make $1 right there, right, and that adds to my income, then I'm going to make that trade, whether or not, bad mistake for taking that, bad mistake for shorting, whatever. That's great. I love the opinions, and I've learned so much from you guys. We don't have a red day in November, and I'm not even sure we have one in October. Part of that is because we stick with what we're doing, and we try to do the best we can every single day. We try to find the names for you. We put out the sticky note, but this is not for entertainment purposes. It is. But at the same time, we put real money on the line, and that's why I liked Arun's comment the other day, you're not going to see him smile there when we have some serious positions on the line. And I think that, I think Neil and I do a good job of sort of showing you not just our emotions, but also the trades that we have, and we have a great time doing it. But that's really the purpose of the show. So thank you guys for continuing to support us. We enjoy the comments, and I hope you enjoy some of the trading as well as Nvidia and look, I'm not just saying this because, come to my chart for a second here. I'm not just saying this because Nvidia's all the way back up, but that's a bad out now? What am I supposed to say? When people are saying, what, you took that out there. How's it looking now? There it is. So now we're long Nvidia on that break. Let's see what happens now. I've lowered the share sizes because we got out, but we are now long Nvidia, long 330.11. Let's go to the upside now, and I think we were calling for Brendo.
Somebody was asking about an 8K filing, an SEC 8K filing. To put it very simply, it's simply a filing that has to be filed to the SEC whenever there's a material change to the fundamentals of a business. So like a delisting or an offering, even anything of that nature. LGVN, this was tied to this long Evron. So they filed an 8K filing when this happened on Thursday. So they got FDA approval for this pediatric heart disease treatment. So it's anytime a company, there's a fundamental change to a company. In this case, it was the FDA approval for LGVN, guys.
All right, so I go from, I didn't even read any of the comments about that rant there. I hope it was okay for you guys. So, I mean, this is why I go on these things when I'm talking about reversing into the long in Nvidia. So, like, let's have some fun here. What do you guys want to hit there? Let's say pigs get slaughtered. I mean, at the same time, this is why we trade like this, putting some bacon on the table, right? I mean, look at it. Now we're long. We got long the same price is on the board right now. 330.12, I think it is. Yeah, so there's a part fill in there. So 330.12 right there. So again, take the dollar, right? Lose the 30, 40 cents on the long, double our position, take another 50 cents out there, right at 330.50. We scalp out. I consider myself a scalper. There it is right now. Let's go now as Nvidia takes out all-time highs. And man, I love this name. And like I said, the long-term account is liking this right now. A 70-cent winner now on the long. This is what we're doing, man. Purples or shorts, bang it out. That's a long. And there you go. Bob is your uncle. And if he is your uncle, say what's up to him for me. What's up, Bob? Hope all is going well. I myself have an Uncle Bob as well. So what's up, Uncle Bob? Hope you are doing well. Okay, let's go, man. Good movement to the upside here on Nvidia. Rivian, let's check back on Rivian. And again, oh, bad short on Rivian, not. $2 in the money now. Rivian coming back to these levels. It's 325, only 4 minutes until we have the sticky note draw. So we'll see what's happening there. That's going to be on. It's going to be with Arun, or with Arun. Yeah, Arun, how's it going? With Valeria will be there as well. So that should be a good one as we get ready to rock and roll on that. Check out Fisker quickly. We're just going to watch Nvidia go, man. I don't have a target on that. I'm going to hold that till the end of the day. If it keeps going up, that's great. We've destroyed Nvidia today, as you guys know. Okay, Fisker. Still moves to the upside, 9.5%. That's not right for Fisker. 8.5 is, though. We'll take that. Taking out highs right now on Fisker. What a good trade this has been for us. This is the only pure EV play besides Tesla, but I've been long Tesla just like you guys have for 10 years probably. Maybe not 10 years, maybe 5 years maybe on Tesla. So that's been a good trade for me, needless to say. But I don't ever want to get out of those shares again. We've been getting out, but not no more, not anymore. Fisker, though, is really the only true EV play that I have on board right now in the long-term account. I have GM, Ford, because I'm a value guy. Fisker, taking a risk on Fisker. And then, of course, I mean, I hold Apple and Tesla. So those are my positions in the EV space. You hold any EV stocks?
EV-wise, no. Most of my cash is tied up in futures contracts.
Yeah, I bet it is.
Okay, anyways, I do want to take care of this super chat before we go to that spin. Bradley Taylor asking an amazing question here. I feel like everyone needs to hear an answer to this. What do you guys think is needed before I sell my business to become a full-time trader?
Oh, God.
To becoming a full-time trader, I think a lot of people kind of misunderstand the road to becoming not just a trader, but a profitable trader. I think that's what everyone wants to become. But here's what you got to do. Apart from, regardless of whether you make money now, it's a longevity thing. Because the markets will constantly change on you, and you have to constantly adapt. So you need to have, obviously, the cash to kind of support as you make adjustments, but you need to learn to make adjustments. So you need to teach yourself all these intricacies of not just market making, but trading in the market. When momentums are hot, it's easy. Like earlier this year, March, April was just easy to make money. Momentum was absolutely nuts. It's easy. Everybody was an amazing trader. March, when things die down, can everyone still produce? And that's the kind of things you got to learn as you get going.
Sick.
So as a trader, what do you need to start off? Obviously, you need a massive capital base, not just for the trading side. I would imagine, like to start off, you're going to need, I would suggest that you start off with paper trading first and take it seriously, not just, oh, look, I can buy this many shares, and actually take it seriously as if it was real money, but a massive capital base to allow you to kind of fall back on when you decide that, you know what, I'm going to make this my full-time job. You still have bills to pay and you have other expenses. So you need to be able to cover that at the very least, food and whatnot. As a trader, though, at the beginning, it can be very hard. You have to be willing to sacrifice not being able to make money for a little bit to learn the fundamentals and the structure, developing a strategy. And there's like multiple components. There's the entry in a strategy, there's the entry, the exits, the management, all of which kind of need their own little focus and development, and that may take years. It's a long process. Sean and I, Sean's been trading longer than I have. I'm at about almost 16 years come March of next year. And I started when I was just out of high school. Luckily, it was, to be fair, this is not the route that I chose for myself. It just happened to end up here, and I kind of ran with it a little bit. So it's just one of those things where you kind of get lucky in some ways, and then you kind of got to put in the work in other ways. And trading is a lot of work, and a lot of times why I don't smile is because I'm constantly thinking of different scenarios for different stocks and what I can do, and you'll learn to do that as well because you're thinking about entries, the exits, how am I going to manage this, what's the risk, it doesn't make sense, and that comes with trading plan. And I think a majority of your time at the beginning especially is going to be spent with your trading plan, and that also means while you're developing your plan, you're not going to make a ton of money. So have a financial backing, have the cash to rely on, at least while you kind of put everything together and try to build yourself into a trader. And there's going to be highs, there's going to be lows, and every time you make money, don't spend it all. Just put it aside because you're going to need it for another time. There will come a time when you're not going to make money. You're going to need that cash backing to kind of help you get through it until the next time that you're able to make money again. And that's just one of those things. And at the beginning, it's hard. It's a lot. You're going to have a lot more losers, and it's going to be one of those things to control your emotions and your trades and your cash management very well. It needs to be done very well, especially at the beginning, because that's when you're more likely to make mistakes. So I hopefully said enough to kind of put it all out there that it's a long road. Just be prepared for the work of it.
Yeah, I think you nailed it right on the head. 16 years Arun, 22 years for me, and it's been a great journey. And we knew Arun from way back when he was a wee little guy, although you were never really a wee little man. Okay, it is about that time. This is what we've been waiting for. I'm excited for this. I sort of started this off on a whim there. Thank you so much. First of all, before we go, I just want to give a big shout out. We just got a $100 super chat there. Damian Stevens, man, he's off to Vegas again. Thank you for everything. Sticky Note Nation, this has been a best month. Free education, free everything. Damian, man, put 100 on black. Always bet on black, Damien. Thank you so much from me to you. Thank you for that 100, and thank you for 9 months as well, man. For Stephen W. Thank you so much. Means a lot. But I went out on a whim today and just put our team on the spot. So I want to give a big shout out to Natalie. Thank you so much. A big shout out to Valeria as well for helping us build this. We had no preparation for this at all whatsoever. I just got in a mood this morning, Arun, and today, right now, someone is going to
wear one of these, right?
Yeah, that, a t-shirt, whatever they want. They're going to go on our merch store. They can get something now or later. We're going to try to revamp some of our merch, but let's go over to the big screen with Miss V.
Hey guys, the most exciting moment of the day. Thank you very much for participating in our giveaway. Almost 400 people retweeted Sean's sticky note. I mean, it deserves a retweet on a daily without giveaway, but anyways, we'll try to keep doing this every Friday. And I won't keep intrigue anymore. Natalie, hit that thing. Let's find out who is the winner. And winner is, oh, woohoo, Hollywood Wheel 33. Congratulations. We'll contact you on Twitter, and you can choose anything from our store, and we'll send it to you. Again, guys, thank you very much for all the support and for playing with us. Hollywood Wheel 33. Congratulations.
That is pretty cool. I saw that wheel after I was done my speech. I'm like, wow, does it actually have everyone's name? It has everyone's name. I was like, what?
Yes, sir.
That is quite impressive.
Confetti. There it is, confetti time. Thank you to everybody, and a shout out to Will. We will get in touch with you and discuss the next steps for that. So awesome! I hope you guys like that. It was just like I said, we're just having some fun here. I thought it was a good idea, and I think that hopefully you guys do as well. We could do some more on that. It was rigged, yeah. Look, Dominic. I mean, I wish that you had won as well, my friend. I mean, I wish everybody had won. That was really super fun. So thank you to everybody. We've already done that shout out. So that's that. If you like that, man, hell yeah on that one. I think a lot of people liked it. So thank you one more time to everybody for participating. We look to do more fun things like that in the very near future. So that worked out quite well. So thank you, Ms. V and Natalie, for that. That was cool, that wheel. I thought that was pretty cool.
That was very cool.
Okay, so it's 3:30 right now. All right, my SG call would be a $2 winner right now. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that would probably be winners, more than I've taken on some of that. So that SG call. So let's go over to SG quickly and have a quick look at that. Of course, yesterday's, yeah, that $50 up to 52. Yeah, that is a $2 winner. We talked about that here, supporting. Oops, that's the wrong chart, I believe. No, that's the right chart, sorry. Yeah, believing in yourself down here at 50. We talked about that just as the show came on, right? There's the 50 up to 52. So 53 pretty high. I think I would take some out right now. If I were you guys, I probably would take some of that out. So that is that play right now. Let's move on to something else now. There's been Russian interference, Dominic. Yeah, I mean, what's up, my paisan there? And yeah, we'll just keep getting Ms. V doing that, though. I mean, there's no one better. What do you want to see? Me at the screen? Maybe next time Arun can flip that. But, you know, that was what that was. Thank you so much. That was a lot of fun. Rivian 133, Nvidia Fisker coming back down. I don't know, Arun, did you want to talk? I mean, your futures at this point, do you have a stop put in? Are you waiting for those imbalances?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's kind of doing nothing, right? It's kind of gone as high as 03, gone as low as 94, kind of going sideways. Not a whole lot to do on the futures. You're just going to have to wait because a lot of this activity happens in the final 10 minutes. A lot of the movement you're going to get, I'm hoping is through the downside, but based on my position at 94, if it doesn't, I'm going to have to cut the trade, obviously, but I'll let it go until the end of the day, see if we can. And as I talk, this is exactly what I was referring to earlier. 330, if we get above and fail, then it's a short. Based on the way it's looking, the short would be like something I would step into right now, but with 15 minutes left and imbalance coming out, I think going short, probably close to 330 with a 331 stop. Maybe, I don't know. I feel weird about taking a shot because if it goes sideways and the imbalances come out and it's positive imbalance, it's going to just kind of shoot it up. But if you get this kind of a setup at any other time during the day, I think you could really go for a short on this type of setup. Right now is setting up on Nvidia, but we'll see how this plays out. But I'm not going to get involved in this. You're seeing a lot of stocks do this, actually. Nvidia coming off a little bit. Tesla is, since I have the chart up, is coming off now below 1130. And it looks like Zoom also kind of got below 250 now. And yeah, Baba going sideways. We'll just wait on that. Brendan?
I was just watching Micron as you were talking about Nvidia there, and coming back in a little bit. This one trying to test day highs here. So crazy move here, 8.5% for Micron. Remember Citigroup talking very positively on this one. A little bit of a laggard in this group so far on the way up, but nice day so far, holding highs for Micron.
All right, perfect. We will be tweeting it out from our main account, and I'll retweet that winner. So congratulations on that one as Natalie sends me that message. So that was really cool, man. It was really fun. The new Vanna White. Vanna White is in the building right now. Thank you to Ms. V for that one. You know what? I was looking, and I love Vanna White. I mean, I've been watching Wheel of Fortune. I think Wheel of Fortune is like in their 39th year. Maybe someone can check that out. And I think it's been Pat Sajak and Vanna White the whole way. So I don't mind. I mean, I don't want Ms. V to be the new Vanna White girl because then we'd lose her. But I think it'd be great for her. So I'd support that move. But shout out to everybody today. Thank you for such a great show. It's been excellent. The only thing I'm going to do now, one more thing, because it was such a good show and because we've been having such a good time, why do we only have 600 likes right now? I mean, what are we doing something wrong? If we can get the like count up to 1,000, I'm trying to get 1,000 likes every single show. So that would be pretty cool if we could do that. 600 likes, too low. So if we can get 1,000 likes, that'd be awesome. Turn this little thumb. I don't know. Are we still on that view? There we go. Turn that. Yeah, good zooming, guys. Turn that upside down. Not upside down, sorry. Turn that thing black or red or blue, whatever it is on your computer or your mobile. That'd be fantastic. Let's get those likes. We're trying to tell the YouTube algorithm that, you know, let's bring some more people to the show. We talked about Nvidia here. I knew this would happen. Remember I said to you guys that, you know, if this breaks through 330, there might be a little bit of a mess situation happening. It's not a mess at all. We actually got out there at 330.50. Now we're still holding a small piece. I'm going to give it back to this very bottom. So we will lose on this last bit here. It's been a good trade on Nvidia. If you want to get out now, I can't blame you, man. This thing is going to head to the downside, which is good because I want my man over here to win on his future futures contracts. So I'm hoping that they can come to the downside. But for this position, nah, it's no good. We break through 328, we're going to get out of this. So it's going to be a hit here on the last little bit. But we've still done pretty well on this name here heading into the close. I hope no one's caught sub 330. If you are, I mean, take the dollar hit, man. Just get out right now. I am, and again, like I said, we're going to do things a little bit differently here. I'm going to wait for this level to see if it cracks right now. Normally I'd average it. You know what? I'm going to average in one more time because we're at this level, so I got to do it. This doesn't make sense for me not to take a bid. So we'll take a bid right now on Nvidia, maybe even just right here. We'll see if we can get that. And then the stop, there we go. We just got it as it tanks right into my bid there. We just bid 80s and got it right away. We're going to get out if it breaks through 327 to the downside. That triggers, and we're going to be gone. Whether or not this turns out to be a good trade or not, I don't know. But we'll average into that position. Average price now 329.50. So we just got to get back to 330 and we're gold. But we'll see if that can turn around. With only now 20 minutes to go before the close, this should be good. What's up, Brendo?
Just saw this headline, guys. Ford and Rivian canceling plans to jointly develop an electric vehicle. So Ford, obviously a big investor into Rivian, so I'll dig into that a little bit more. But there was that's Micron, that's not Rivian. There was a move down on Rivian there.
Okay. Cancels. Okay, so I guess they were going to do a joint. My bad. I didn't even really realize that they were going to do a joint vehicle together. I do know that Ford owns 12% of Rivian, and that math works out nicely for them as their valuation obviously has skyrocketed in the last little while. So good for Amazon, good for Ford. But today, Rivian's had some negative news just come through this afternoon, including camera issues, including a few different. That's still Ford, including a few different problems with their battery capacity and things like that. So Amazon right now canceling out some of this love for Rivian today. Amazon and Ford throwing some shade here on the Rivian deal, which, wow, man, like, can things just like ever work out for anybody? Like, you know, people are stuck long Rivian. I mean, do we get the rug pulled again? Like, everyone loving this long from 106 all the way up to 180. Like, people are going to be stuck up here. And I don't think there's anything wrong with buying Rivian. But, you know, this could be one of those things, man. Oh, man, I'm going to get in trouble here on the chat probably, but I could see Rivian trading near 100 next week, and I don't even think that that's that far-fetched, to be honest with you. Easy to get caught up in all the hysteria there with Rivian. Let's just check out GFS quickly, Global Foundries. I almost feel the same thing about this. You know, big, and again, I like it because of the space, but I just wonder if there's some areas of concern here, ticking out these highs, people getting caught here. Does Global Foundries at some point, even next week, trade around this 50 mark again to bring it all the way back down? I will buy this if it does come back into these areas, but that sucks about Rivian, man. I really hoped that a lot of us could get, I'm not in it, but I just hope for it. Oh, man. Wow, these shorts on Rivian printing right now. It's the only trade we've given you on Rivian here today was this 134 short. I cashed it out both times at 132, and now you're cracking. Watch out for these levels, man, down here, 128 and change. If you're holding Rivian, I can't blame you, but I wouldn't hold this for a swing trade come Monday, just in case some of these stories get a lot of publicity over the weekend. You may not want to be holding Rivian, guys.
All right, so one thing we do want to mention, though, keep in mind, in about 8 minutes or so, I'm going to do this every time because I feel like a lot of people need to be reminded. Imbalances come out in 8 minutes, and we've got the imbalance locator up. This is from our system. I'm sure every broker has their own. You're going to notice this. There's some data here, but this is from this morning. You can see here on the right-hand side, it says market time. It's 9:30 or 10:24, probably from some halts and whatnot. So these are the imbalances that we've got up. You've got the symbol on this on the left-hand side. Then you've got the direction of the imbalance, the size, meaning how many shares still need to be matched, paired value or paired volume, how many shares have already been assigned to someone else, so it's already been matched, and then the source is just where it's coming from and then market time. So what this essentially means is when you have a number that comes out unusually large relative to the daily volume, let's just say, in this case, SOS, I'm just going to bring SOS up for whatever reason, it's done 9.7 million shares, but this morning it was a 1.18 million imbalance. Obviously, morning is different, but let's just say the imbalance was like 4 million to the sell side. On a stock that's done 9 million, an imbalance of 4 million is almost half the day's volume that needs to be done at the end of the day. You're going to have pressure from that imbalance pushing stocks in directions. And that's going to apply for every single stock that has an imbalance, a relatively large imbalance. And we've seen it in the past. Just the other day, I think it was, I can't remember, it was one of the names. It was Rivian or is one of the other names that had, it was popping.
Was it Lucid maybe?
Maybe it was Lucid. It's popping, and then it came out with the sell imbalance on Tuesday when I was here last. And then the sell imbalance, you saw the stock move.
No, it might have been Rivian, man.
It might have been Rivian. It was like $6 or $7 from 350 until 4 o'clock, and the entire time the stock had a sell imbalance. So that's the kind of influence you can expect from a stock, from the imbalances themselves. Sometimes they don't really make a difference because it's not large enough of a volume to make a difference in the stock. Like on a stock like BAC, an imbalance of 5 million shares ain't gonna do anything. You know, it's 41 million shares on the day, 5 million shares. A lot of that usually is already assigned, so that number changes. So what happens at 350, you get a number. 355, you get an update to that number based on what the floor orders are look like as well. And then from there on out, you're gonna see the stock trade based on what the imbalances are. So we'll see how it comes out, but the first pop or first move that you may see in your stock that you're trading is going to be at 350. So just be aware that this information is out there. It's just a matter of finding it and whether your broker has a tool that allows you to see it. It's just all that information is there. It's just because when I used to trade, I had no clue. This used to come out at 345. And I always saw a pop or a move in the market at 345. I was like, why is this thing moving? And I had no clue. And then I figured out, oh, you know what? There's an imbalance that moves certain things, and it comes out, and then you learn. And that's, hopefully I can, pass it on to you guys so you guys are aware that at 350 there's a volatility event that is the imbalance, and then at 355 there's an update to that volatility event, which we get another move. So just be aware that is coming in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, and on that note, man, Nvidia ripped all the way up, got us right back to flat, and I didn't take it out. We were waiting for 330, like we said. I'm going to take a piece out at 329.50 if it comes back up there. It went all the way back up, man, and like look at this. It just took us out. It didn't. I wish I had it out right there. I mean, I was debating it. Like I was just sitting there staring at it. Could have taken it out. So now we'll sit there in the 30s. Take it out. I mean, we're long at 49 right now, so we'll see if we can take a 10-cent hit, like on Nvidia, 10-cent hit, and then we'll hold. So again, it'll basically be a flat out. I just want to have half left in case these imbalances do come out the other way, and by the other way, I mean against me, which would be a sell side, which is great for Arun. But again, we trade our own books here, our own ideas. Come on, one more bump up. There it is. Okay, so now we are flat on the trade. So again, take a long there, so that's a 330 long. Add that to a 329 long. Obviously gives you the middle here, 329.50. So we're out for flat. Now it's going to look like I have a 40-cent winner on, but we don't. This is like our average price. We'll see if it can take out the highs. I'm still going to get this out if it comes back up to 330, somewhere around here, 330.40, something like that. If we can get an out on that one, we'll take that on Nvidia. Otherwise, if this thing dumps back downside, we will get out of that name. So we have our stop order down there, but we just took off risk right there. Risk off on Nvidia, mask off. As Future would say there, mask on, mask off. Shout out to anybody who listens to hip hop out there for that one. So, all right, 329 and change. 3 minutes now to go. Let's just check out what Rivian's doing. Let's first check out Roblox. Okay, still holding up high. Love you, Roblox. We did get out of some of our 77s today at 135, so we're out a piece on that one. Nvidia's still in the money. Rivian to the downside. Ooh, nasty, man. Stay away from this one. Yeah, why aren't we on the short? I mean, we were on the short, and then this news just came out. Brendan talked about it, man, and honestly, I'm pretty exhausted. Over 200 fills today, but that was no excuse. We should be on that short. Rivian just keeps on going to the downside with only a few minutes left. I won't take any trade. We can watch it together. Rivian just, as I said, I'm feeling bad for people up here, but this is going to be a good opportunity to get back in. I think Rivian tests 100 again, or somewhere around here, 110, 115, possibly on Monday. So we'll test out that long, and then I think I'll put a little baby position on if that does come through. If you're looking at Rivian though, and you are short, I'd consider closing it right now. It's bounced off this level here at noon already. It bounced at 1 o'clock. It bounced earlier in the day off this 128 level. So you are getting some negative news. Makes sense if this thing continues to flush. But again, you have 1,000 shares. I mean, I wouldn't even still have 1,000 on right now, but I'd be taking some out, and I think you should take it a little bit out yourself too, just as some suggestions based on the technical analysis, simple support and resistance lines right there at that 128. So yeah, looks like crypto is still trying to move, man. Ethereum trying to make some moves to the upside right now. Bitcoin just kind of chilling right now, 58. It hasn't had the love. You can see Bitcoin still down 0.6. We did not buy any Bitcoin as opposed to this. Ethereum against the Bitcoin, ETH BTC up 5.4%. So Bitcoin, the big daddy, trailing right now, ETH. And of course, you can hold them both for completely different reasons. I think Ethereum obviously has some base case uses. We talk about dApps and things like that, DeFi, whatever. We can talk more and more about it as it goes. But that's why I like Solana and Cardano. There's you know, the opportunity there to grow and to build on their blockchains. Although Taproot happened with Bitcoin, so I take back a little bit of that, but people hold Bitcoin, of course, for a store of value and for what that means. You know, El Salvador is taking that on as a currency as well. Here goes Nvidia, man. The imbalance is coming out very, very soon. Nvidia now back to the highs, where it's been at the last 5 or so minutes, back to 329.70. We're nicely in the money on this trade.
Yeah, one stock that the chat put up there, AUR going absolutely nuts. But here's the thing you got to be aware of. Momentum into a 350 imbalance is kind of a dangerous game, because if it's running $1.50 right now and the imbalance were to come out sell side, this thing could just completely fall apart based on the imbalance itself. So be careful trying to trade a momentum this late in the session, because it gets a little dicey, especially with the way things trade.
Here we go.
So just be aware. We'll keep an eye on this. This is the imbalance locator I've got up. What do we have for the imbalances? The direction is gonna be negative, mixed. It looks like it's somewhat mixed. Market did not care, but the individual names, they may have moved. Okay, what do we see here? Zoom. You see the pop in Zoom here from 250. 250. Yeah, Zoom's up almost $1 off that imbalance coming out. So what do we have here on the updates here? We have not a whole lot. Yeah, SLF being a 1.2 million buy, and SLB being a 1.1 million buy as well. You can ignore the. Actually, can you even?
Sun Life Financial. I mean, yeah, these are small names, man. I mean, you see Apple. I think I'm debating, man. This Nvidia is right back to 300 or 300. This is a Nvidia 330 level again. So this is a good little spot for us. Debating right now, just cracking this out at this level and not waiting. I'm at 330.30. Like I said, right here, right at this tip spot. But this is a good trade for us. I think it's bouncing off this 330. I'm just going to get out. If we can get out here, we will do that on this bump up. There it is, and just ring the register one more time. So that was a good idea to average in right there. Taking that out, that's going to look purple because I did have that 330 out. That will adjust on our trade lists afterwards to show that that was a sell, not a short sell. So as you can see, I'm all flat. I'm just going to cancel now my stop order to the downside. That was a good one. That worked out well for us. Nvidia now near the top of my list of one of the top stocks for me, as we just cashed that out right there off that long. And if you just wait and be patient, man, all our levels made some sense. Oh, you're having that same problem with your NASDAQ?
Yeah, okay. I just saw someone put it up there. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I may have had it unchecked. There we go. Now it's better. I had it unchecked. I didn't have NASDAQ marked off here. ALHC on the sell side, 1.3 million shares. Cisco on the buy side, 1.1 million shares. Everything else is sub 1 million, at least from the NASDAQ side of things. So keep an eye on this. We've got about 3 minutes left. We'll come back to me just before 3:55. When this gets updated one more time. The largest right now is 1.9 million shares on ifin.u. I mean, it's barely moving.
Yeah, I don't even look at those units, man.
I try not to care too much about those. But ALHC, we'll take a quick look. It looks like sell side. A lot of these stocks, they'll start moving once this imbalance gets confirmed, meaning after the 355 update, as long as it stays okay. ALHC decided that I wanted to move off of the 350. Did this happen as soon as 350 came out? Yeah. So there you go. Perfect example of what an imbalance can do to a stock. ALHC, large 1.8 million share imbalance. Volume on the day is 4.8, so just under half of the daily volume is in the imbalance. And the stock went from 22.80 down to 21.70 on the low, and it's trading at 21.92. Keep an eye on this. You know what I'm going to do?
Do you see Rivian on there? Because
I'll put up Rivian and ALHC on a separate list so we can actually keep it.
We'll look at this. I'll close it for now because I don't see it. We'll find it. We can actually isolate different stocks. So that's what Arun's mentioning there. And see you later, man. Let's just I have this. Oh, here, we'll just do this. This is a good one. We'll stamp it. Bang, fail. Rivian just failing right here. It failed to hold that 128. Now you're going to the downside. I like what Jude was talking about there. A trailing stop. So that way there, you're probably out. Did it just tick out through 127? There it is. So a trailing stop allows you to enjoy the downside. And then if it does go back up, like if you have a trail of $1 or something like that, as it starts to go back to the upside, it will just take out that $1. So you said you had a trailing stop at 127. That would be a hard stop. But you know, if you put like a dollar trail, then when it hits 125.66, that we actually have videos on trailing stops. You can find our Market Wisdom page. But 125.60 bottom there, if you have a dollar trail, then it punches you out at 126.50, right? So that's what a trailing stop is. And I don't use them because, again, when we're here on the show, it's like I would much rather just pick specific levels. I don't think there's anything wrong with using trailing stops. I think that's great. Find out what you can do the best with. And here it comes right back up. I wonder if it's going to be pegged to that 128. I know there's options as well today. Nvidia falls off that 330, so that was another great. We're not getting back in. Like if this was 20 minutes to go still, I'd buy this dip right now in Nvidia, but I'm not going to. I know you isolated it. Does it show anything on there?
Yeah, Rivian has a 5,000 share imbalance right now. It doesn't really make a difference. So we've got about a 30 seconds or so left. We'll keep an eye on. Right now, Rivian's imbalance isn't that large, so it's not going to make much of a difference, but we'll keep an eye on ALHC. Rivian could also, at 355, you could get a much more of a sell-side imbalance. If it updates, you're starting to see ALHC go. As long as it can stay on the sell side, this will keep going down. Here we go. The update should come in. Looks like ALHC updated to 500,000 shares to 200,000 shares now. So it's being paired off, 70,000 shares now. So you're starting to see the offset come in. So it was a sell, a massive sell, and now 800,000 shares has already been assigned. So there's only 200,000 left. No, it's not going to make much of a difference in the stock. Let's go back to the main stock and away from these single names. What do we have here? Twitter, no, Twitter's gone. Nothing, really. iFin is the only big one. XLRN, there's KO, 600,000 shares to the sell side. These aren't large enough to make a difference or a dent in this market or the individual names, so I'm just going to close this because at this point, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't look like for Options Friday, it's pretty quiet. So what I am also going to do is I didn't get the kind of movement I was hoping for from the future, so we're going to start getting some out here. I've got some out here around the 93 area. That's about a 1 point winner or so. Well, actually, no, it's first in, first out, right? So
I was going to say, you're about flat, right, or so today on that?
Yeah, it's about flat, but first in, first out. Since I got a half out, but the half that I got out was below 90, I actually lost on 3 points or so on the first entry. The remaining entry is going to be a short at 46.99, so I'm going to make money. Regardless, I'm going to be somewhat flat to up on the day. It's just a matter of first in, first out situation here. I'm still short, but for now, depending on how it closes, I may be making more or I may be getting flat on the remaining position as well.
Yeah, LFG there. Thanks, Trader Pratt tweeted at me there for the Apple trade. Thank you for that, Trader Pratt. Whoa, thank you to that for one, Trader Pratt, as we go here. We'll get off that page. Okay, so just looking here with only 3 minutes to go. It's been such a fantastic week for us. It's been a draining one. Shout out to Neil. Hope you're enjoying your day off. And I got good news and bad news for everybody. The bad news is I'll be back Monday, but the good news is, as will Arun. So Arun will be back sitting in the captain's chair with me here tomorrow. I guess it's co-pilot, pilot chair, sitting here on Monday. So it'll be the both of us again, and Neil enjoying a multiple day weekend. That should be fun for him. So what's up, my main man? I assume he's not watching. I hope he's not. Spend that time. Fisker coming back down, Nvidia coming back down, and there's that play again on Nvidia, by the way, 328. So that was good, man. Yeah, Arun's probably watched Friday the movie, I would say, yes, probably. Okay, so let's just move on from all of this, guys. It's been a great, great day. I want to give a big shout out. I'm going to find the tweet. I'm going to retweet it. We got a nice winner there for the merchandise. Congratulations. I can't remember. Wild Bill or something was his name. What was his name again? Wild Will. Hollywood Will. Wild Will? What the hell's wrong with me? Yeah, shout out to Hollywood Will there for the win. Hollywood Will 33, I think it was. A big show? Okay, good. At least I remember that part right. Thank you, Ms. V. And a big shout out to you, Damien. Good luck on the tables, man. Go to win. I like to stay there. The last place I stayed at, though, was not Bellagio. Venetian was the last hotel that I stayed at when I was there previously. Would love to go back to Vegas. Can't wait to do that. And then when we do, man, maybe we'll have a big gathering there of anybody that's in Vegas. Don't tell the wife. We'll sneak out one night and have some fun in Vegas. But Nvidia back upside now, 330. That should be a fun one. Let's check back in on Rivian quickly here as it's starting to go bounce city from that 128. So that might be a peg that's held there. That should be really fun. Lucid is busting, man. Lucid is busting to the upside right now and continuing to go, man. You know, bust a move, man. This thing is busting upside right now. Just like Trader Prad is busting to get some what's that chicken place called? Super Chicken shares. So is Lucid, man, upside. If Super, yeah, we're gonna get Discord. We're gonna get Discord working, and we're gonna buy. What is that? IPOF is supposed to be Discord. Okay, with only 50 seconds left, I have the countdown on here. I want to give a big thank you. We'll do the thank yous after. With only 40 seconds to go, any words of wisdom here in the last 20 seconds, Arun?
Nope. Enjoy your weekend.
Yeah, guys, enjoy the weekend. It should be a fun one. I haven't gotten the tree yet. That's happening tonight. We're going to get the tree, okay? So watch out for me. I'm going to go home now. We've got everything planned out. We've got the eggnog. We're cooking it up. Yeah, man, just like James Harden. Stir that pot, guys. Let's get going. Thanks to Trader Prad today. Big day for him. Big day for all of us, man. It's been a good one. It's been a big weekend. Super excited. I'm losing my voice, obviously. I don't know if anyone's counted how many words on average I say. It's ridiculous. Probably way too many. With only 10 seconds left, Ms. V, 7, 6. It's been a big time week. Been a big fun day. 3, 2, and 1. Adios. Thank you, Ms. V. Adios market for the week. Don't tell my family this, but I kind of don't like weekends that much because the markets are closed. All I do is just sit there on like my CNBC app, investing.com, crypto, stare at that all weekend, as I'm sure a lot of you guys do. But make sure you spend time with your family, especially in these holiday times. That is for sure. I want to give a big shout out to Ms. V, working real hard today. Thank you. And Trader Prad, thanks for the promotion on that merchandise idea. There it is, Ms. V. There he is there. Got some super chicken still. Thank you to Trader Prad again. Thank you to our wonderful team over there with Rob, Lucas, Mark is somewhere back there. He's got Mark, Dancing Mark. That's interesting. I've never seen that before. Thank you to Mark. I saw him sneak in here early. Didn't even realize he was still sitting there. So shout out to Mark. Mark works on the infrastructure and everything on the backside for this. Mic problems, figuring everything out. So big shout out to Mark, the brains behind the operation. And then obviously Brendan, Arun. We've had a big week, man. This has been a fun one. Brendan, how did we wind up on the markets?
It's Friday. If Mark is dancing as well. Quickly, here we go. Quick look, guys, at how things ended. The Dow 0.73. You can see the S&P red. The NASDAQ was all there was to talk about today. Ends up about 0.5% there. Big move for crude, as we said. And yeah, Ethereum. Can't say enough about the way these cryptos bounce back.
Yeah, wow. To grab that 6%, I mean, like I said, I just added a small part to the position yesterday, but I want to keep buying on any of these dips. We'll pay attention to buying more dips on the weekend. But I forgot to shout out Natalie and Maggie, obviously, as well, working, behind the scenes for us. So, Arun, it's going to be a good one.
Yes,
you put up a Christmas tree? Or
Yeah.
Is
we
it
put
up
a small
yet,
one, though. We put up a small one, though.
Yeah.
No, it's not up yet. Well, it'll go up soon.
That's what people were saying. You have to put it up after U.S. Thanksgiving. So
I mean, that's officially, but for us, there's nothing between Thanksgiving and Christmas. In Canada, Thanksgiving's in October, so you got a ton of time.
True. What's it like being back at your pad, Brendan, by the way?
So exciting. I just got a note, Sean, actually, that the trim is being put on my living room right now, so I'm very excited.
Wow.
So we'll make some room and put a tree up in said living room when they are finished.
Great. Well, congratulations. I know that was a little bit of a rocky ride, but as contractors go, I think you got pretty good so far. I was expecting a lot longer delays, but that's great that you're back in your pad. So, guys, everybody get that dry powder. Get ready. The market falls down. We want to be buying some of these dips. Have a fantastic weekend. Spend lots of time watching various Christmas movies. We watched Christmas Chronicles 2 yesterday, actually, and we've watched The Grinch and so on and so forth. Should be fun. Spend time with family. We're back Monday. Sleep well. The markets don't go anywhere. 8:30 Monday. Join us then. Ciao, guys.